me, personally, I'm going to stop being distracted by this weird garbage and start playing the game. Alright? We on board? We okay with this? Is this allowed? I'm gonna play the game now. Alright, here we are in Heoi. Oh, Heoi. It's just actually the name of the city. That's probably a thing I should know. The long and short of it is we are happy to be out of the walled city because the walled city feels like garbage. And we did the thing. The thing was done. I did it. So now it's time to go talk to Kindly Chang, I think. I maybe could have just read the thing that it was telling me about where we are and what we're doing. Time to report back to Kindly Chang. Okay, great. Yeah, I even have the diamond to let me know that it's time to report back to Kindly Chang. Okay, cool. Do I have... Can I spend my money yet? Is there a reasonable place to spend money? If I was a person who wanted to spend money, where would I go? Isn't there like a... Here's a vendor. You look like a person who vends. Reliable Matthew. Are you? As usual, I click on him. This tall, lanky Hong Konger. That is a weird word. Hong Konger feels made up. That feels like a meme. Regards you with a sickly smile. He holds a smoking cigarillo limply in his fingers, and he is surrounded by drones. Smooth jazz plays on tinny speakers. Hi, I'm the lever. He lazily waves you off with his cigarillo. No deals for outsiders. Move it along, beautiful. Move it along. He turns away. Wow. Not very reliable, is he? What a jerk. Also, where the hell does he get off calling me beautiful? Pick up? Well, okay. Oh, nice. Free trauma kit. What a deal. Are there other free things if I run around? Hey, I guess we're going to do some running around before we go talk to Kindly Chang. Sorry, Kindly. That's probably a little bit too casual. Miss Chang, I suppose. Maximum Law. Hell of a name. Bins of electronics crowd every dry patch of deck space on this rusty old boat. A young man wearing bulky virtual reality goggles glances your way for a moment, then turns away in disdain. Wow, nobody likes me here. Wanna look at your tech? He doesn't even look at you. Shop's closed. Get lost. Well, I guess I'm not spending my money, am I? Inspect? A large X fashioned from overlapping strips of peeling duct tape. Huh. Wonder why there's an X on the ground. As if it was a target or something. I already know I can't get in the club. That's fine. MTR station. Intercom. This was a hospital. I remember that part now. Any other vendors? Anybody actually willing to vend? I feel like the answer is probably no until Kindly Chang decides that I'm allowed to talk to people. Maybe we just go talk to Miss Chang. Board train. I could just go somewhere? Where would I go? Nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere! Great. Alright, fine. Railroad me into doing plot, will you? I get it. I understand. I can see where my bread is buttered. What a weird phrase. Like, actually just a super weird phrase. Alright, who's out here? We got... Is this Gobbit? Is this Gobbit? Which one of you is Gobbit? Probably you, because this is Izzy. The hell are these idiots? You're in my way. God, that running animation is so garbage. Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Chang. Uh-oh. How goes the corp dodging? So far, fine? I don't know. Haven't been shot at lately. That's pretty good. She beckons to him with her finger, and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. Plastic tarp? Dude's definitely dying. His pants are wet with fear. That's not fear, that's urine. I'm not sure if you know this about pants and or wetness. An acetylene torch lies on the table of Cheng's right hand. I'm not here for torture. Listen. I'm trying to play more pacifist if I can. This, doesn't seem very good. Kindly Chang ignores the scene. She behaves as if all is right in the world. How did you sleep, my little ones? How did I sleep? Like a baby. Incorrect. Not too well, Auntie Chang. I had a bad dream. Auntie Chang. What's with the guy on the floor? Maybe don't ask questions. If you ask questions, you get in trouble. Does she? She's asking this question. Does she actually care about the answer? What's with the guy? I mean, I am curious about what's with the guy on the floor, but you know, she doesn't like it when I ask questions. I guess I should respect her wishes. You register a brief hesitation before she responds. She wasn't expecting an actual response. I see. You poor darling. Perhaps it's the food here. I understand it can be a bit too spicy for outsiders. Still, a bad dream is a better way to spend the night than getting a bullet in the ear while you sleep. She flicks a mahjong tile at the kneeling man's head. Wouldn't you agree, shitbird? Who would choose that as a name? She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. Shitbird here is a plainclothes cop. Oh, I see. That was not... that was not chosen by him. It was chosen for him. Kindly Chang, evincing her usual skill at nicknames. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed, and that your location remained a mystery. She nods her head back towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Oh, is that... This idiot is Bao? I can't remember what he looks like. Ignore him? No. You can thank... Okay, well, she said thank Mr. Bao. I'm gonna thank Mr. Bao. Thank you for guaranteeing our safety, Mr. Bao. Bao inclines his head 1/4 of an inch. Ah, acknowledgement. Feels good. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, shitbird, tell my friends here what you told me. I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders in last night. He pushes his head toward you and Wu from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is in on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up? The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. Taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. What is that? Weird. What a weird situation. How high? The cop looks up at her. Looks around at the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. My dude, you're not getting out of this alive. Just 0% chance you're living through this. You might as well give her the answer she wants and die quietly instead of loudly. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up. Someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead. Cheng spits on him with a sneer. Fuck your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. An exclamation mark. My vision of Auntie Cheng is not someone who uses exclamation marks. The cop wears the spittle. He never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam. I swear it. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists were to terminate with extreme prejudice. Kindly Cheng shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into his scalp. She pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. Digs her fingers into his scalp. Pulls... It's not like he has hair. Is she literally just, like, grabbing the skin on the back of his shaved head? Like, digging her nails in like that? Ugh. 18th generation is very specific. It really is. She's good at curses. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzzed-cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night, someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill 2 nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating. Don't you? Corporations can just order the cops to kill people here? Okay. I may be dumb, but I don't have to be naive. Corporations can just order the cops to kill people anywhere. Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Oh, you poor naive child. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. The people feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. My. This is Ada is what this is. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. I guess I see the difference. The exec council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots. Neat and efficient. Kindly Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. You kinda wanna be kindly. That is an aspiration. I don't know that I would want to live her life, but she does have a fascinating facade. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. She looks around the room. But not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest's visit to Heoi, shitbird? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here, I swear it. She turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao? Bao fiddles with a PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. No outgoing calls on his PDA. Very good. Thank you, Bao. She nods at the cop. Thank you for your honesty. In one smooth motion, yeah, there it is, Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. I don't think I can afford to be this naive. Like, what do I think I'm playing with here? Do I really think I can get on their case about killing this guy? Probably not. I don't think I can be that person. But this is probably the closest I can get to the kind of person I want to be here. Trying not to kill people, but at least aware of the facts of life around him. I was wondering what we were going to do with him. Cheng takes a drag on her cigar, indicates the body. He knew, my darling. He knew. She balances her cigar on her shot glass, picks up some mahjong tiles, and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city. Something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles, one by one. Click, clack. And now they want you dead for it, too. Click. This plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day, too. She knocks the pile over, and it clatters to the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here. Players unaffiliated with the triads, who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be a positive in this line of work. See, Duncan, I knew it! This is an appropriate Big Brother line. I could be like, just really, you know, laconic about the whole thing. But, yeah. Yep, you saw that coming. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body of the floor. On the floor, presumably? The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. I'm still gonna call this stuff out whenever I see it, but I'll try to gloss over some of the less egregious errors here. There's been a fair amount of just like copy editing errors, and it's usually obvious what they intend. So I'll maybe not be too picky about it. You'll have safe harbor here in my town, and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of tiles again. And while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black. Where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, what this prosperity could be. What's in it for you? I feel like this is a little bit more aggressive than sort of this, you know, kind of more casual, just tossing a statement out there kind of thing. You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet. Valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. Her voice drops and she becomes deadly serious. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates it must be confronted, or I stand to lose everything. Well, okay. The Raymond thing is a big deal. She already said that she's going to be looking into it. How would the arrangement work is information we're going to get eventually. Knowing a little bit about us being Westerners is maybe like a decent question here. Do I just want to ask this question? I kind of just want to ask this question. Oh, no. On the contrary. There's a good market for out-of-town talent that's just waiting to be exploited. Plus, you're unknown. A surprise, if you will. I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. You make a lot of Nuyen very quickly. It's all very civilized. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Kindly Chang will be your partner. Wu's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little, amused. It was just like you said, Jim. Shadowrunners. Glad I had some time to think about it. Process. He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Ah, fuck it. I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? I guess I don't... all of these are just yes? Different flavors of yes? Which, I mean, makes sense. I don't know how I would say no at this point. I'm a little deep into things. Do I think any of these, like, fit the character better? I don't know. All of these are still, like, pretty dark. All of this stuff, right? Like, this is, let's run the shadows and figure out what happened to him is pretty good. The tattoo fake eyebrow thing, yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. I don't know. I'm into the face markings. I think they're kind of cool. Raymond is alive. I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Chang keeps up her end of the bargain. It helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm gonna find my father. You like it when games do give you that option, though? Like, it could lead to a game over. Oh, yeah. I've been in that situation before. It's like, you know, I'm ready for the adventure, or I'm scared, can I just go home? And you click go home, and it's a game over screen, and it's like, all right, well, I don't know what I expected, but yeah, that's probably correct. Far Cry 4, you can just wait at the beginning, you get an ending. Oh, that happened in Astalon, too. If the very first thing you do is just go back out of the tower, you just leave the tower. And it's like, well, you didn't get anything done. Eventually your town dies to the poison. Then it's done. Heioi is now open to you. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to her ear and whispers into her sleeve. First order of business. The lever here already has chosen his street name. She turns her attention to Wu. But Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Wu sighs. Yeah, okay. I'll think of something. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, Gunshow. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was gonna stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel, we'll handle this the same way we did with all your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. All your previous work. Yes, okay. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. She's pointing at you. Me? Why me? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to the little decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. She moves her finger to the orc girl. As for Gobbet, let's say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. Then she rests her finger on Wu. And then there's Gun Show. She wiggles it. The jury's out on Mr. Gun Show. Meaning? Her response is direct, straightforward. Meaning, there's a lot going on within that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. You're a raw nerve. A gun show will be fine. Trust me. Kindly Cheng makes eye contact with you and holds it. She keeps it steady for a long time. This is such a great mental image of this lady and everything she represents, just like looking me in the eye, not like coldly, but like mildly disbelieving, and me just standing there with a shit-eating grin on my face, just holding it. Just like, hey, yeah, he'll be fine. I'm just this like tableau of the two of them staring at each other. I love it. I love it. Wu doesn't notice. Don't worry. I'll be cool, Jim. Alright, well, cool. Okay then. Guess I'm running the show. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Gonna be weird calling you the lever again. I haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Wu to you. I guess this is our new crew. The rat on her shoulder scurries to the top of her head for a better view. That rat has so much character. Welcome to the shadows, the lever. having a name with the definite article in front of it is so. Activate the mission computer. All right, well, I guess we're cool here. Kindly regards you coldly and lifts one hand in a dismissive wave. As much as I love your company, I have business to attend to. Clear the hell out of here and go get settled in. Yeah, it worked out really well. I'm pretty happy with it. Jesus, this run! Why does he do the run animation when he is clearly walking? Crew advancement available. Oh yeah, just like last time. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner of the screen will open the crew advancement menu. I do like advancing. While this icon is highlighted, one or more of your companions is eligible to learn a new combat skill. Alright, new combat skill. At each advancement level, you may choose one of two possible combat skills for your runners. Choose wisely. Yep, standard. Okay, what do we got here? Gobbet can learn one of two things. Spirits will never break away in the first 2 rounds. Ooh, saucy. If I save, is it showing up in the right place now? Let's actually check that. It looks like it is. Yeah, it is. It is not showing up in the place where the old saves were. And I don't know what the deal with that is either. But it looks like it's working correctly now, which is good. You love the Heoi music. It's pretty good. Alright, time to do some more running around and see who's willing to talk to me. Is reliable Matthew willing to talk to me now? High enough decking rating to save the game. Apparently, yeah. Alright, are you more reliable now? Smooth jazz drifts from cheap speakers on this barge. A wide array of worn-down drones litter the battered deck. Most are utility and domestic types, but a few, cordoned off from the others, are low-end security models. Maybe I reorged my folders post last week. I don't think I did. I'm trying to think of, like, what might have happened to cause this. And, like, I don't think anything changed in terms of, like, where I installed the game. Or, like, moving folders. Or I haven't moved folders around at all, to my understanding. But somehow it decided it wanted to store the save files in a different place now. And that meant that it didn't see the old save files. I don't know, it's super weird. I don't know what would have been different about it. The salesman smiles indulgently at you. Oh, he's heard the news. The good news about Kindly Cheng wants people to talk to me now. A tall, lanky human of clear Cantonese ancestry. He's wearing a cheap suit and limply clutching a smelly cigarillo. He adjusts his tie with exaggerated nonchalance. Languid, ostentatious, like an American casino promoter. Hey there, beautiful. Welcome to our little floating heaven. You've got a discerning look to you. What brings you to Reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar? He taps Ash over a bulky cleaning drone beside him. Not waiting for an answer, he continues. Perhaps you're looking for a hexacopter as a guide to Hong Kong, or a little handheld tarantula beauty to brew your tea. Are you calling me beautiful? You know it, beautiful. Hope I don't offend. I just can't help it. To me, everybody's beautiful, baby. Okay, then. What can I say? I can't hold back. It's just such a great world. Alright, I'm interested in your combat models? Not actually sure that I'm interested in his combat models. I think I have nobody who is interested in his combat models. Change the Steam library path or add a second one? Oh, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Reliable Matthew looks over his shoulder at the security drones, some heavily cannibalized in the corner of the yard. He turns back to you with a nervous smile. Funny you should ask. I've just gotten a Doberman that I'm selling at an incredible bargain price. Shall we take a look? Incredible bargains, huh? They fall off the back of a truck? Are you implying that they're stolen? If so, you're mistaken. He smiles indulgently, as if you've just said something in an alien language. This merchandise is provided only by trusted suppliers, who certify the authenticity and workability of their goods. I don't furnish manufacturer's certificates, but all the providers are really top-shelf guys, really beautiful people. Otherwise, I wouldn't carry their drones. Yeah, sure. Alright. What you got? Let's look at your drones. Just look at these sweet little drones. Outfits? Armor 3. Okay. He's got an Armor 3 outfit for 450 Nuyen. Pretty good. I'm never coming back here. Unless I need that outfit. Which, unclear if I ever will. Jin. As you approach the small landing, you see 3 men, 2 elders and a younger man, hunched over a go-board. The juxtaposition of the 2 white-haired, white-bearded men and the black-haired man is almost comical. Together, the 3 resemble the small black and white stones of their game. And despite the variety of ambient distractions, the 3 men remain acutely focused on the game. One of the elders, a round-faced man with a beatific smile. Beatific? How is that word actually pronounced? Hold on, we're Googling it.
Beatific.
Oh, beatific, apparently. Saintly. Carefully picks up a black stone and places it on the board. His opponent snorts, and a small smile flashes across his long face. Almost carelessly, he snatches a white stone and deposits it on the board. The smiling man groans, and the long-faced one proceeds to collect several black pieces off the board. Shoo. Ah, you got me there, Jin. He laughs, a pleasant, full sound. As it trails off, he spots you watching the game. A broad smile brightens his cheeks. Why, hello there, young man. Something you need? Probably. The long-faced man gives you a cursory look and continues to collect black stones. Just a gawker, Shu. It's your turn. Exactly, Kellerman. The name's the Lever. Got a second to answer a question or two? Shu nods. I could use a short break. How about you, Jin? Jin sighs, shoulders slumping forward. After a moment of scowling, he reluctantly speaks. Fine. A short break. The two elders turn toward the younger man. Whoa. Who's this dude? Look at him. Stylin'. He looks to be in his early 30s, but it's difficult to tell. The skin on his face is smooth and supple, with only the suggestions of creases at the eye, mouth, and forehead. But small gestures, a blink, a flare of his nostrils, briefly reveal the lines of his face. The man's eyes rise from the go-board and study the elders. He nods. I've been hearing about strange dreams here in Heioi. Have I? That's a weird thing to have heard about. Have you had any nightmares recently? The three men exchange looks. Shu turns to you. What a coincidence. Wasn't but an hour ago that we were all discussing that very thing. We have been having bad dreams. Every one of us. Interesting. You mind sharing? Jin shakes his head and crosses his arms. What makes you think we'd be comfortable sharing our dreams with a complete stranger? Seems like a good way to get ourselves in trouble. Especially with what you kids can do with that matrix y'all love so much. He turns his head, pretends to spit. Peh! Shu waves his hand dismissively at Jin. Don't mind him. He's always been a poor sport. But he raises a good point. Some of our dreams contain information best left private. Just as yours do, I'm sure. Having just met, how can we be sure that you'll respect our personal information? I'll tell you. The younger man's voice cuts through the din like a razor, and the elders fall silent. He turns to you and he locks eyes. Dark orbs that burn with piercing scrutiny onto yours. He nods and returns his gaze to the go-board. I believe you're trustworthy. Please, the Lever. Make yourself comfortable. I'll share my dream with you. Wow, okay, I'm listening. Whenever you're ready. He exhales slowly, then begins speaking. I dreamed of a long, dingy hall. When faced with such a thing, one generally walks its length, so I lifted my right foot and placed it in front of me. But upon taking that first step, I found myself instead drawn down an alleyway to my left. It wasn't there before, this alley. It appeared only as I began to walk. As I moved down the alley, I found myself surrounded by friends and loved ones. They all stood there, silently watching me with smiles on their faces. And as I passed each one of them, they fell to the ground in my wake, dropping like puppets with severed strings. Somehow, I knew that if I followed this road to the end, I could have everything I'd ever dreamed of. But I woke before I could reach it. There's a moment of silence before Shu speaks up, the rosiness in his cheeks having drained away. Yeah, I agree, Mr. Gecko. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. It requires some deliberateness. Probably deliberateness, yeah. Not like deliberacy is a thing. It requires you to be deliberate about how you say it. I too saw the long hall. My own experience was different, however. The hall was far off in the distance, and I was looking down on it from a strange angle, as though I were perched on a wall high above. He pauses and looks at you. You know, young man, the Lever. You look very much like the person I saw walking that hall. He moved steadily down the path, walking at an even pace, and just behind him, a great and terrible shadow followed. Of course I didn't have the best view up there on that wall, or wherever I was. Could have been anyone.
Perhaps this old mind of mine is seeing your face now, and misremembering the dream.
He lets out a chuckle, and a small flush of red returns to his cheeks. He looks over at Jin.
All right, Jin, go ahead.
Jin broods in his corner, arms crossed and jaw set. Wow, how is this dude is like 80 and he's so petulant? You're acting like a 5-year-old.
I've changed my mind. I don't want to share my dream. Nonsense! Master Lao and I have both told him our dreams. Now it's your turn.
Jin sicks out his lower lip.
No!
Who is this dude? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. He holds his palm up towards you and looks at Shu.
See? Straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have to.
Jin. Lao's voice is firm but soft. This is important. Jin's mouth opens and closes like a gasping fish. But as he looks at Lao, his body relaxes, and a sadness seems to take hold of his features.
All right. But don't you go repeating any of this, you hear me?
He takes in a deep breath and slowly releases it. Folds his hands in his lap.
My dream began as a nightmare. I dreamed of the failures and mistakes that I've made throughout my life. The people I've let down, the competitors I've crushed, the wife who died in hospice without me. I dreamed of the family that I abandoned.
A change comes over him. His eyes brighten, and he continues energetically.
But then I dreamed of the walled city. I stood before it, and its door opened to me, and when I passed inside, all of my guilt felt away. It was as though the city had absolved me, had washed away my guilt, and I remember feeling happy.
As his remembrance ends, so does his lightened mood. His face shrinks into a pout, and he stares grumpily at the ground.
There, I did it. Happy?
Lao nods slowly. Thank you, Jin. You have my thanks too.
Yeah. Now can we change the subject? My altar's acting up.
Guessing you've been around these parts longer than I have. Is this sort of thing normal?
If it were normal, we wouldn't be huddled around discussing them in whispers now, would we? Enough of that, Jin. The lever here asked in earnest for our advice. He deserves a proper response.
Shu gives you a gentle smile.
Please forgive our friend. Bitter years have left him suspicious of others. The answer to your question is no. Upsetting dreams have never been uncommon in Heioi, but these recent visitations have been different.
Ooh. Whoa, sorry.
They've been darker, more vivid, stronger than normal dreams. Last night, I felt consumed by the sense that something was coming. While my friends here felt a sense of relief and excitement as their dreams ended, I felt as though I were sitting on the precipice of some vast and terrible chasm, with the void yawning beneath my feet.
Suddenly his cheeks flush. He blinks twice, then looks away.
But perhaps these are just the ramblings of an old man. Please forgive me.
He scratches his nose, embarrassed.
You speak wisely, Shu. It is foolish to embrace a thing that you do not understand. What Jin and I saw in our dreams was alluring, but so is the light to a moth. Your instincts are still strong and sharp, my old friend. It is wise of you to trust them.
Shu bows deeply, his eyes to the ground. Who is this Law fellow? Why is he such a big deal?
Thank you. I can only hope these dreams do lead to something beautiful. There's already enough deception in this world.
Jin groans loudly.
Can we get back to the game now?
Oh, look, I don't want to keep you.
Of course. Stop again anytime soon, Lever. Your company has been refreshing.
Mangled that. Whatever, doesn't matter. Thanks, good luck with the game.
Appreciated, young man. We'll be seeing you.
Cool. Alright, so there's a lot of people now that we can talk to. We can go into the Parlor of Five Phases? What is the Parlor of Five Phases? Tell me more. Crafty Zoo. I guess that's taken the same naming convention as Kindly Chang. A mild scent, sweet and slightly herbal, is the first thing you notice upon entering the old shop. Its quarters are cramped, made smaller by the display cases and furniture packed inside. I'm actually, if this is going to be like the spell vendor, I'm a little disappointed we don't see whatever his name is. The Jonathan or whatever? The elf from the first two games? I don't remember his name, though. The walls are lined with bookshelves, and the tables and chairs are stacked with old tomes. A few titles jump out at you. Lucid Dreaming, an exploration of the inner self. Dream Logic, Nocturnal Visitations. Boy, we are on theme today, are we not? Overall, the place feels lived in, if disorganized. Not quite cluttered, but close. Milling at the front of the store is the shopkeeper, lost in a book of her own. She's tall for a human, probably close to 2 meters in height. Her physique is typical bookworm. Not overweight, but you can't see any muscular definition either. A wraparound tattoo covers her upper arms and shoulders, but from where you're standing, you can't quite make it out. She fidgets. Gradually, her eyes rise from her book and lock onto you. Welcome. Don't believe I've seen you before. She sets down her book and sweeps a strand of black and pink hair behind her ear. Name's Crafty. I like it. I like what she's done with herself. The lever. Nice to meet you. She shakes your hand. Her grip is surprisingly firm. So, the lever. What can I do for you? I've got spells, alchemical reagents, foci. Whatever you want, really. Might have to do some digging to find it, but if it's magical, it's around here somewhere. Well, as long as we're on the subject, say, Crafty, have you had any vivid dreams lately? Her face is unreadable. Her eyes lock onto yours. As a matter of fact, I have. The lever. But we all get the occasional vivid dream. Nothing special there. Gesture to the books on the tabletop. Really? Then why are you reading up on them? She flicks her wrist dismissively. Sure, it's a little weird that we're having them, but these types of dreams are common in the walled city. Nothing to get all worked up about. Probably. They're common. She nods. Common as the cold. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it, so I grew up with stories about the city. The recurrent creepy dreams being one of them. I've never been inside the walled city myself, but Mom went in pretty regularly and experienced the dreams. Mom sounds like an interesting person. The sides of her mouth dip into a shallow frown. Sure, she was interesting, but not praiseworthy. What else do you know about the walled city? Very little. Just that my mother spent most of her time in there, and she shifts her weight, leans onto the counter. Well, it messed her up. Is there something specific you want to know about? What can you tell me about it? She runs a hand through her hair, exhales. Where to begin? The walled city's always been a hellhole. It started a bad place. It's still a bad place. Crime's drawn to it like a magnet. You can't enter the city without a security guard on each elbow. But not even that will guarantee you safe passage. No one famous or rich or memorable has ever come from the place, and the only thing it's known for around here is its shitty reputation. She shrugs loosely. That's about the gist of it. Now there's a whole library here that just so happens to be the foremost location for walled city texts. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. Get the feeling... Am I really just asking about her mother? God, drop it. I've been thinking about the dreams. Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why do you think they're affecting people outside the walled city? It's definitely strange. Until now, I always thought the dreams were nonsense. That my mother just had night terrors because of her madness. Well, I guess she keeps bringing her mom up. She props her chin up with her right hand. But now it's really happening. And not just to me, to others around Heioi. Those same psychic forces that drove Mom insane are edging into our subconscious. Lately, I've been wondering if there might have been something to her ravings. Maybe. I've been skeptical for so long, it feels almost blasphemous to consider it. Maybe the walled city's curse is real. She rubs her hand down her face, obviously frustrated. I just don't know. Maybe you can learn something from your mom's journals. How do I know anything about her mom's journals? What an odd set of dialogues. This is just a really weird, like, conversation tree. Like, all of this stuff, I mean, I get it, right? Protagonist. I can be weirdly personal, and it doesn't really, that's allowed. But, like, this is weirdly personal, and feels like it's relying on information I don't have. Like, feels like it's relying on conversations that we were supposed to have already had. Like, how would I know anything about what she has an advantage to when it comes to... Like, this is all really silly stuff to say. Mom's journals? That's true, but my mother's notes are scattered all over the shop. Most of her research is scrawled in the margins of the books that you see on the shelves and piles and stacks all over. The clues we'd need to figure this thing out could be in any one of these volumes. There are thousands of them. Well, I do feel bad about these dreams. This is potentially a problem. This isn't just about you or your mom. This is about everyone who's having these dreams, also fair. But with the dream's reach spreading, can you really afford to let all this knowledge just sit here? This is all the same. All of these are the same. They're not any different. You could help them all. She sighs, straightens up. Yeah, I know what I have to do. It's just... Damn, look at them all. She tiredly looks down at the book she was reading earlier. Guess I won't be finishing this one anytime soon. I'll write the lever. I'm going to get started, now. But it'll take time. The House of Five Phases is jammed from floor to ceiling with books, and any one of them could hold valuable information. Check in once in a while, and I'll share my findings with you. Okay, cool. You're doing the right thing. I'll do what I can to. Thanks, I appreciate that. Alright, well now that we've already talked so much about her mom, let's ask some more questions about her mom, I guess. Get the feeling that your relationship with your mom was unusual. You'd better believe it. She was obsessed with the walled city. Put it before everyone in her life. Mom ate, slept, and breathed that city. Was something fueling her obsession? Crafty shifts her gaze to a stack of books on a nearby table. Yeah, actually. Mom was convinced that something was wrong with the place. That it was cursed in some way. Polluted with unnaturally bad chi. I mean, based on what little experience I've had with it, I tend to agree. She'd visit the city under the protection of the Yellow Lotus and spend hours, sometimes days, studying it. Crafty tears her eyes away from the books and returns her gaze to you. Mother was consumed by her research. Did she ever find anything? She sure tried. Mom thought she could find a way to purify the place and to exorcise its demons. Her obsession with the walled city grew, and she devoted more and more of her life to breaking its curse. Wish I could say she fell off the radar, but really the rest of the world fell off of hers. That does sound like it might have been hard for you. Feels like the first SR campaign, Big Bad is about to happen, we're learning about it slowly until pop. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's absolutely something crazy going on with the walled city, and it would not surprise me at all if it's deliberate action by whoever Raymond was investigating or whoever Raymond was dealing with that wants to kill him. So, like, that same person that is now trying to kill us, probably also responsible for whatever BS is happening in the walled city. Seems likely. It is what it is, and here I am. Crafty gives you a warm smile. Sounds to me like you don't... Oh. Well, okay, here you are. Tell me about yourself. Who are you? I'm not sure where to start. What do you want to know? Is Crafty really your first name? I'm not going to ask this of Auntie Chang. I'm not going to ask this of Crafty Zoo either. What do you do when you're not at work? I've been pretty crunched here at the shop, so I don't have a lot of time outside of work. But when I'm off the clock, I like to read and paint, maybe kick back and enjoy a meal with my friends. My buddy Gobbet sometimes stops by with food. No drag racing or anything. Pretty boring. I know a Gobbet. I feel like there's not that many gobbets. You know a lot of gobbets? Her teasing resolves itself into a gentle smirk. Oh, we're hitting it off. She likes me. I'm pretty sure they're one and the same. She's a good person. We're not real close, but we have a pleasant relationship. Chatting over French fries, discussing our latest reads. You know, shallow things. This is like... Are we setting up Crafty to be a love interest? Like, what is happening here? How do you know her? She and Isabel got me out of a tough spot. Good. Keep her by your side. Gobbet's pretty fluent in the ways of this city and the people who live here. She knows her stuff. If you stick with her, you'll find yourself in a lot less trouble than you would otherwise. What do you like to read? Okay, all of this is fascinating. But maybe we should just check out the shop and move on? I don't know. Kind of like her. What do you paint? Just for fun. I don't make any money off of it or anything like that. I just find it relaxing. She pats her arms. Designed my tattoos, but that's about the extent that I take it beyond the canvas. Mind if I see that tattoo? Do you mind showing off your tattoo for me? We're definitely flirting now. Yeah, sure. She turns her back to you, and you can see the tattoo in all its glory. It looks like an impressionist rendition of a school of salmon jumping upstream. The artistry of this piece is undeniable. That's really good. An embarrassed smile creeps into her features. She scratches her shoulder. You're being way too generous, but I'll take it. Thanks. What do you like to read? Crafty claps her hands together and a slow smile spreads across her face. Aside from the usual, I love sitting down each morning to a tall cup of soy calf, and with the latest news stream on hand, I pop it right open to the obituaries. Makes for great reading. Really? You read the obits for fun? Everybody here is crazy. She smiles at you for a moment before speaking. Kidding. Well, for all you know. What is it? How are you gonna walk that back and then be like, or am I? I tend to stray towards detective novels. Maybe some suspense and horror. When I'm not reading for leisure, I study my textbooks to keep my magic sharp. Well, that's great. Alright. Did you study magic too? I mean, obviously. I sure did. Natural predisposition. She flexes her arm. Or whatever. But Mom and I learned the craft differently. I went to a university, and she was book-taught. Mom was very old school. Her magic wasn't as applicable to everyday situations, and it was rooted in superstitions. It still worked, and well, but only for more ritualistic, ancient spells. Practical spells, like ranged shields and bottomless trash cans, were outside of her repertoire. Is Crafty really your first name? For all you know. Anyway, back on topic. I guess as long as we're on the subject of your mom, let's keep talking about your mom. Why are we spending so much time on her mom? You can see Crafty studying you. She exhales through her nose, and it seems as if she's considering something. I know we've just met, the lever, but you have a generous ear. I don't mind discussing my mother with you as long as we keep the details between us. Wow. Immediately in there. Told you she likes me. Mother's research was stupid. Just plain stupid. She wasn't stupid herself, no. Mom was very bright. But her obsession was downright unhealthy. Anyone could see that. Did someone cast Tell Me About Your Mother? Ah, I see. It's magic. The magic of the shop seeping in. Maybe the spirit of her mom is still lingering around and thinks we'd be a good match. The walled city is a toxic place, home to dark spirits and astral influence. But Mom believed in a singular curse at the heart of the place. When you say toxic, what do you mean? My mother failed to change the walled city, and the time she spent inside there changed her. She grew sickly and became moody, irritable. She suffered from night terrors the rest of her life. Must have been difficult to watch her decline like that. She points a finger at you. It wasn't just that. The breaking point for me was her ridiculous obsession. I refused to indulge her, and it drove a wedge between us. Neither of us were willing to relent. A small, bitter laugh escapes her throat. I guess we had that in common. Stubborn till the end. So after Mom died, I turned my back on her work, and left the walled city and its people to themselves. It's a toxic site beyond rehabilitation. I do my best to ignore it. Alright, we have finally confirmation that her mom died. I mean, it's been hinted at. Very pointedly. But this is actual explicit confirmation. Her composure breaks for a second, and you can see Crafty shift nervously behind the counter. At least, I've tried. Now that these dreams, these nightmares are leaking out of the walled city, I wonder if I can still ignore it. We always have a choice. You're right. But not everyone's choices are weighted evenly. And I just don't think I can turn a blind eye to what's happening here. She loosely gestures to the bookshelves all over the shop. I have my mother's journals. I have the means to try and help. It's sure to dredge up bad memories, but if it'll help my friends, maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so this is what I was talking about. I guess I went to the other dialogue tree early, and it... basically all of the options in that dialogue tree assumed that I had read this dialogue first. Come on. This is doable. This is not rocket surgery. I guess I have a lot to think about. She crosses her arms and wraps her fingers against her skin. Anyway, thanks for lending me that ear of yours. Anyway, I want to see what you're selling. Now that we're over all of that, Acid Bolt. I do not need another Acid Bolt, but thank you. Power Bolt. Required spellcasting 1. Requires conjuring 1. Why does it say mage then if it requires conjuring? Shamanic ritual garb, armor 3. Okay, yet another armor 3. That's cool. Requires spellcasting and intelligence. Spellcasting. 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 Conjuring. Here we are. An area of effect spell that reduces the chance to target someone by 15%. Air Barrier 3. Set 5 light cover barriers that last 3 rounds. Anyone that enters takes 1 AP damage. That's kind of cool. It is brain science, though, presumably. I would imagine that one must use your brain in order to construct a dialogue tree. Decreases the target's movement by 2. That's not a lot. Lasts until combat ends. Oh. That's probably worth picking up. And it's cheap. Hermetic Fetish. Shamanic Fetish. Possession of this fetish grants a benefit of +1 charisma. Oh, well, okay. Free boost to charisma. Do like that. A simple magically prepared salve that heals 4 base HP. And a further 4 HP per round for 3 rounds. Dope. Okay. Spells I don't care about. Conjuring I do care about. None of this is particularly exciting, though. Alright, well, I'll buy this stuff. Anything else? Is this your store? It's mine. I inherited it from my mom. As you can see, she generously left me all her research journals. Her words are thick with sarcasm. Mom was never a big cleaner, but neither am I. My mom used to keep spirits around that helped her manage the place. They're not here anymore, but sometimes I swear my books aren't where I last placed them. Who knows? Maybe they pop by for visits. I just wish they'd clean while they're here. What is the name of the store? It's, the 5 phases, right. It's a cultural thing. The 5 phases represent wood, earth, water, fire, and metal. Some people believe they're the basis of how things function and interact in this world. You find it practiced all throughout China, in disciplines ranging from farming to science, even music. So, based on the traditional Western four elements, there's no air. Instead, there's wood and metal. Interesting. I've seen that before in other places, but I haven't really thought about it. The theory isn't common among younger generations, but it has its uses. My mother was strongly influenced by it. In fact, our sign out front is a visual representation of the cycle of 5 phases. It was an inspiration to her. She raises a shoulder in a half shrug. I just think that it looks neat. Cool. Thanks, Crafty. See you around. Good enough. Like Chinese horoscope? No, I don't think so. It's more of like, I mean, maybe it's like Chinese horoscope, but they have the zodiac for that. Crafty is pretty great, I agree. Alright, what do we have here? Lethal Force. Assault rifle ability that fires a single shot of incendiary ammo. Yeah. I didn't realize that Aristotle was the one who originally came up with it, but sure. Additional 2 damage and pierces up to 2 armor, 1 AP. 2 AP damage. Ooh. I do like AP damage. I'll take that one. Alright. Augment the mini launcher or gain a Decker program. Wow. Remote mines, which can be triggered to detonate at will. Oh, I do like that. That sounds like the kind of thing I'd be interested in. I didn't realize that all the Zodiac animals were connected to specific elements. That's neat. I don't know which one of these I want. Increasing her ranged combat skill and SMG spec. Spirits will never break away in the first 2 rounds after summoning them. That's really dope, actually. They rotate with the cycles. Oh, so any given year is some element and some animal, not that the animals are tied to the elements? I see. Okay. Haste 3? That's pretty dope. For 4 rounds, and it gives Gobbet an accuracy boost. Neat. Alright, do I want her to be better at shooting, or do I want her to be better at spirit control? Heck of a question. In theory, I want to be the one doing all the shamany things, so maybe I want her to be better at shooting? But maybe the shamany things are better than shooting? Unclear. And then this is entirely like, do I want her to be better at decking or do I want her to be better in combat? I feel like... stuff in Decker World just isn't super hard anyway. Like, as a general rule, I don't need to focus too hard on what's happening in the Matrix. So I guess let's give her Sabotage. Man. It's not going to get me extra damage, but it means that I'm more likely to hit. Right? Not to be confused with Tiger Woods. Sure. I don't know what I want. I mean, I know that my character is just complete and utter garbage with weapons. Just gonna be casting all day long. Not really any intent to improve my ability to shoot people. I'm not even sure I intend to carry a gun. Why is this such a difficult decision? I guess they both feel fairly low impact. This one's kind of cool, though. Guaranteeing it doesn't break away in the first 2 rounds means I can just throw max AP at it each time without having to worry. I probably like that better, assuming that I'm going to be summoning with any kind of regularity. Oh, this summoning refers to, like, the fetishes, right? The consumables. So I have to use up consumables every time this ability is going to matter. I'll just make her better at shooting people. What else is she doing with her turns if she's not shooting? Casting spells. I mean, she has a bunch of buff spells. Alright, I'll give her Spiritualist. Spiritualist here, and Sabotage there, and I've already chosen here. Yep, confirm all. We did it! Everybody's updated. Alright, who else can I go talk to? I can presumably now talk to Maximum Law. Overhead, a gigantic holosign shines like a searchlight, screaming its message through the dim light. It hums and flickers, sputtering like an old engine. Fierce electrical crackles sporadically burst out of the sign's emitter, stabbing your eyes and filling your ears with static. Wow. How can you live under here? Under the baleful glare of the sign, the rusty mini-barge's deck is stacked with electronics. Dilapidated stereos share space with crisply boxed servers. Ranks of disks and memory chips fill display cases, padlocked under plexiglass. A short human in his late 20s stands in the middle, hands on his hips, talking loudly into the air. Bulky virtual reality goggles cover his eyes. A data jack cable runs from his temple, down his stained t-shirt, to a belt load of clearly home-built computer hardware. No, I'm telling you. His voice is shrill, clipped. Nobody uses KM3s. Like, nobody. They're shit. I don't care what Deng says. If Shiawase SRP uses KM3s, they're stupid. Hey, flesh is rolling up. I gotta go. I like that this is the conversation I'm interrupting. He turns to face you, goggles blank and enigmatic, blinking with tiny lights and wrapped in duct tape. He points at your PDA. I ripped that PDA. You work for Kindly. His lips work impatiently. Yo, what do you want? You provided this PDA? Tell me about it. It was a Fuji Azura Star 3. They use a Scarab chip, which is good, but the motherboard is wet noodles and sprouts. I wonder if he means that literally. I pulled out the trackers and installed encryption. Now it runs on the Wampoa virtual network. The corps and cops can't crack it, can't track it. Oh, nice work. He shrugs dismissively. It's what we do. Maximum Law is a great name. It really is. There's a character in Tekken whose last name is Law. And of course, his first name is Marshall. I think he's the Bruce Lee clone in Tekken. He's pretty cool, actually. You love his turn of phrase. Wet noodles and sprouts bad? I imagine wet noodles and sprouts are easy to crack. This is Law's Technology Palace, satellite territory of Wampoa. You step on the boat, you're in a sovereign state. I represent Wampoa here. I'm Maximum Law. He draws himself up proudly, setting his hands on his hips. The Maximum Law, yo. You got a tech problem? Boom, I solve it. You need software? Boom, done. But don't waste my time. So you got any business in Wampoa right now? If not, keep moving. Oh, yellow text! I found yellow text. I'm clicking it immediately. Found this while poking around in the walled city. Worth anything? He scans the chip's casing with a handheld optical reader. Yo, that shit is banned! Lifted off some Yellow Lotus? They traffic this stuff. Delimited sim chips, full sensory experiences. You looking for a buyer? I can make it happen. How's 120 million sound? That feels low. Think I'll keep it. What? Don't tease me like that. Raw. Raw. I like it. That is an amazingly ostentatious holo sign you've got. Yo. Maximum Law looks up at the gigantic blue-white letters with deep satisfaction. It's pretty boss. Yeah. Pretty boss. Damn right. He gives you a virile nod. Virile. Virile. He gives me a nod, overflowing with male potency. You're a guy who appreciates the good stuff. I like that. Alpha Heioi gets its juice from a pirate tap on a big Mitsuhama DC cable under the river. Mitsuhama's like... His voice winds up into a mocking whine. Let's turn 2 million volts from the cold fusion plant to the island under the river. Oh, slum monkeys can't tap an underwater cable. Idiots. You know who built the tap that pulls the electricity off that cable? Wampoa. You know whose barge holds the transformer? Mine. Maximum Law thrusts his fist high in the air in silent victory. Cheap power for all and a whole lot of extra for me. Behold, the lighthouse of Boom! What a dude! Yeah. Maximum Law is growing on me. Why are you wearing VR goggles? It's not VR. It's augmented reality. We're pioneering it. Little cameras, matrix overlay. I can support a 3-dimensional HUD and sub windows with live multiple feeds. You telling me nobody's heard of AR before? I got a command shell open right now. I'm networked with 5 guys. 5 guys at once? Damn, Maximum Law. Wave of the future. I don't have enough decking to click the button. Techies trying to proxy for astral perception with gadgets. Cute. There's no need to be dismissive, alright? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Sounds interesting. It is. Law says it with supreme confidence, a statement of perfect fact. Looks like you've got some dangerously exposed wires over there, are they? Yo, what are you, my mother? Thank you, oh Furioso, for the follow. Very much appreciated. I could be his mother. I'm probably not his mother, all things considered. Law regards you with skeptical disgust. Those wires are fine where they are, high and dry. They're only a problem for someone who does something stupid. I'm running a high bandwidth tech operation. Do I look like I have time to tape copper and sip tea? No, I don't. Law raps his knuckles fiercely on a clear-topped case full of buses, cables, and cable harnesses. These are the only wires you need to think about. Well, alright, show me what you got. Maximum Law's gonna have his mind blown by Pokemon Go, right? We got Cyberdecks. We got the same outfit as everybody else. We got consumables. Some programs for people who like programs. I don't think I'm a person who likes programs. None of this feels particularly important to me. Alright, we out. Thanks for your help. See you later, Law. Boom! Another problem solved by Law's Technology Palace. See you later, Law. Yeah, whatever. Law's Techno Palace. Yeah, that's what it says. Don't mess with the law. This graffiti is so good. Alright. I'm into it. Nice place you got here. Neat stuff. Alright, who's gonna sell me some goddamn guns? Not that I necessarily care about guns. Like, I'm not a person who is going to equip guns. But, like, if you fight the law will win. Spider Shen, maybe? There's a song about it. Yeah, it's true. Law does have his own song. Despite the wind and rain pelting Heoi, the proprietor of this stall, a monk, judging by their outfit, is unconcerned. The monk's expression is indifferent, though hardly placid or serene. Muscles show as tightly wound metal bands beneath the skin, ready to snap in any direction without warning. What's more, the monk's robes are anything but ordinary. Certainly, silk makes up the base outfit, but it's paired with high-impact ballistic armor, heavy-duty boots, and a bandolier of throwing knives. The table in front of you is arrayed with a wide variety of melee weapons, charms, jade pendants, and other mystical accoutrements. Beneath an awning in the rear are rows upon rows of cages, each housing some variety of exotic reptile or insect. These, in turn, are flanked by jars and boxes of Chinese herbs, incense, powders, and inks. The monk spares you only the shortest of glances as you approach. I am Monk Shen. Most people in Heoi call me Spider Shen, on account of the spiders back there. You're not local. Not by a long shot. It's definitely a statement, not a question. Yeah. Oh, what tipped you off? I like that. I like that. How does everybody know I'm not local? Says the giant Westerner. Shen smirks crookedly, two teeth peeking out from between his thin lips. Body language. You're not afraid to look me in the eye, for one. For another, your clothes. Not in fashion here in Hong Kong. Swords, knives, clubs, I sell it all. I make most of these, but if I can't, I've got friends who can. If you need incense or salves for meditation, I make and sell those too. And if your joints ache, I can give you acupuncture. Shen places both palms on the table, leaning over it towards you with a wicked grin. So, what can I show you? Alright, show me your stuff. What you got? Street monk outfit. Chi casting. Physical adept stuff. Damage 3. This damage had better scale with something, otherwise the katanas are pretty garbage. Spiked fist. Are these also weapons? Yes. Ones I can use if I want. Causes minor bleeding on impact, with damage of your strength +1. Oh. Ooh. Balanced for throwing. Neat. Alright. Well, none of this stuff is useful to me, it turns out. So what's your deal, Spider Shen? Obey the fist. Ah, I gotta obey the fist and the law? Man, so many things I gotta obey. You're a monk and a weapons dealer? Shen slowly raises an eyebrow, arms folded. Yeah. Where else would the ancient masters have gotten their legendary swords and spears? Down at the mall? I was at Wudang Mountain for 15 years before coming back to Hong Kong. I've been practicing Xing Yi Quan my entire life. That's how I learned the herbs as well as the forms. Just so happens I'm good in the forge too. That's why what you buy here is better than most other people's. What's Xing Yi Quan? Shen strikes a sudden pose, body low, one fist against a hip, while the other is extended in an open palm. Okay. The 5-element fist style. Water grows wood, which burns to become fire. Fire creates ashen earth, which condenses into metal, etc. The forms cycle the 5 elements, and opposing elements block each other. A water fist will break a wooden defense, but a water block will extinguish fire. Should one use a water interception on a metal fist, however, water will be smashed apart. Direct, simple, powerful. Not so elegant as Baji Quan or Tai Chi, but much more powerful. Shen pulls a tarp away from a nearby lump. The object beneath the tarp is revealed as the door to an Ares City Master, armored person air carrier. Where were my syllables there? Armored personnel carrier. It's been caved inward by a massive amount of force, and in the dead center of the door is an indentation, into which Shen's fist would fit perfectly. Power comes from focus, and focus comes from practice and meditation. Xing Yi Quan produces more power than most other forms of Kung Fu, and applies it in a highly focused way. So why become a weapons dealer out here? I was a runaway, a street orphan in Aberdeen. One day an old man who called himself Woe offered to take me in, let me make something of myself as long as I worked hard. Nothing in this life is free, friend, not even Grandfather Woe's help, so I work for him now. Sounds like he was part of a triad. Shen's eyes roll at this. Obviously. You think I am in Kindly's little haven for no reason. She and Grandfather Woe are on good terms. I don't get in her way, I pay a cut to her, and everybody's happy. Even Woe, because I solve problems for him. Shen raises a balled fist, which suddenly bursts into blue flame. After a moment, it gutters and goes out. Remember that, if anyone ever gives you something for free. In Heoi, you pay it back with money or blood, but you pay it back regardless. Why are your weapons special? Because I take greater care with them, and I've studied the ancient texts. Anyone can make an excellent carbide steel blade, but I can make that carbide blade burst into flames. I can make it sing with joy in combat. Anyone can make steel. Not anyone can awake its soul. Can I see one of the blades you've awoken? It wasn't on the list before. Shen waves a hand at you dismissively. No, of course not. Swords like that have to be custom ordered. Only when someone cancels an order do I have one just laying around. And believe me, they get snatched up quick. I get the picture. Let's talk about something else. You sell the snakes and spiders too? Shen shakes a finger at you, eyes narrowed. No, they're mine. I can sell you the things I craft with my hands, or the things I can do. But the medicine and poisons I make are my secret. You want those, you apprentice to me. In 5 years, maybe I show you how to make a poultice, eh? They're that secret? Of course they're secret. These are what set me apart from the rest of the street dealers in Heoi. You want cram or bliss, any 2-bit triad punk can make that for you. But I can realign your chi, set your yin and yang in balance, or set somebody else's out of balance with a few drops. To master my skills, you need to learn for years. It's not just following a formula. You want to learn, you need patience. You try to learn without patience, all you do is ape the masters. Shen snaps 2 fingers and points at the cages. You have to understand them to truly learn my art. Otherwise, you never become a master. Might as well get a skill soft. How dismissive. Alright, well, thanks. See ya. Maybe. Nobody's selling guns, though. Somebody's got to be selling guns around here. Maybe in the doctor's office? That seems unlikely, but you know, whatever. Chrome Alley, medical services and mechanical repair. Okay, I'll press the buzzer now. There's a crackle of static, then a brusque voice answers. What do you want? The voice's Cantonese is precise, but the accent sounds American. Is this a medical clinic? No, it's a chicken factory. What do you want? Need a cyberdoc. Yeah, that's me. But listen, guy, I don't know you. I don't like people I don't know. Who sent you? Kindly, will vouch for me. Yeah, you just idle your engine there for a minute and I'll check on that. There's a long silence on the intercom. The door gives several heavy metallic clicks. There's a dull rumble, like heavy bolts sliding back. A green light flashes on the terminal. The door appears to be unlocked. You can enter the clinic. The clinic. 10 armed Ambrose. 10, huh? I'm only seeing 2, but maybe the others are hidden. Maybe Ambrose has 8 secret arms. This clinic looks like it just hosted a party. Spindly mechanical arms swing from unobtrusive wall mounts. Yo, that's where the arms are. Pulling down crepe paper ribbons and scooping food platters and empty beer bottles into biohazard bags. A severely crippled Caucasian man sits in a wheelchair amidst the maelstrom of mess and robotics. He's in his 40s. Thick beard, tungsten earrings, beer belly, one cyber eye. Both his legs are missing. One at the hip, the other at the knee. Really? A guy this into cyber technology and stuff isn't going to be able to manage prosthetics for himself? That's a little off-putting. It's kind of a bad sign. He has only 1 arm, and only 3 fingers remain on his surviving hand. Oh, he's got 9 robot arms, not 8. His face and arms show the scars of reconstructive surgery. He grins widely at you, regarding you with bloodshot eyes. He's clearly hungover. Hey, I'm Ambrose. He shouts cheerfully in English, his words piling together in a loose Midwestern accent. Do I know how to do a loose Midwestern accent? Not really. They call me 10 Arms. Welcome to the Kong, fellow UCASian. He chuckles, his chest shaking with mirth. A Waldo arm springs to life and swings over to him. Its menacing metal pincer momentarily sets a cigarette between his lips, just long enough for him to inhale from it. Kindly says you're all right. What can I do you for? Your front door could stop a bulldozer. Why so fortified? Are you kidding? Have you any idea how much all this stuff in here is worth? This is a high capital operation. Life's dangerous for a guy missing most of his members, tooling up smugglers and criminals. Let me tell you what, though. If someone busts in here, they're going to be in for a world of hurt. Ambrose chuckles evilly. There's a lot more than pipes and wires up in the false ceiling. Now I've got Kindly's crew and the Club 88 boys on the panic button. They know which side their bread is chromed on. Why would you chrome your bread? That sounds awful. I do not want to eat that bread. What, you thinking of trying to knock me over? He laughs uproariously, but it's not clear if he's kidding. Alright, show me what you got, buddy. Sure thing. Tone up or spare parts. It turns out many of these things are not things I can equip. Fascinating. And I'm leery of anything with an essence cost, since, I'm trying to do magic. Wait, how does essence work? Does it affect my charisma, or does it affect other things? I have no cyberware. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, I need to actually spend points on cyberware affinity in order to equip some stuff? That's fascinating. Where is... Isn't there this thing? Is this what I wanted? This is what I wanted. Cyberware? Essence. Each point taken away from your current essence increases spell cooldown by a turn. Brutal. Your essence after installing cyberware. Yep. Cannot drop below 1 essence remaining. Cyber weapon will turn your basic melee attack into a cyber threat. Oh man, I can't wait to be cyber. I probably don't want to be particularly cyber. Especially if it affects my spell cooldowns. That's kind of garbage. Alright, what about medical supplies? Trauma kits and med kits. Okay. So you're a doctor? Sure I am. I'm a rigger doctor. A rockter! Ambrose bursts into laughter, then stops and clutches his head. Ah, man, I cannot laugh hard today. Too much partying last night. It hurts. I'm not board certified, but don't worry. I should be. I'm full-on skilled. My work's Yellow Lotus guaranteed and precisely in accordance with the World Medical Association standards. Everybody in Haoi comes to me. Because I'm the only option. Very well, Rockter. Right on. Let's get you tricked out. Unless you just want to bullshit. Which I'm down for, too. Well then, let's bullshit. What do you do here? What do I do? Tune-ups and engine rebuilds on your ass. I do it all. First aid, second aid, surgery, cybernetics, obstetrics, euthanasia. I'm your one-stop shop for health and beauty. Well, maybe not beauty. I don't modify myself. Any reason I'd come around here if not for medical gear? Shoot, this is a friendly little neighborhood. I love it when people come by and bullshit. Hell, I host birthdays. Ambrose's spider drone swings a bottle of coffee liqueur over to his nose. He sniffs it gingerly. Nope, that's no good anymore. Full of spit and cigarette ash. Mechanical services? Nothing you'd be interested in. Right now I'm mostly doing engine mechanics and electrician stuff. I send Maximum Law and Reliable Matthew any work they can handle. It's really just a hobby and a service to the community. I make my nut with the clinic. Make my nut? I've never heard this phrase before. What the hell? If you say so, sir. He looks over at the massive, partially assembled V8 engine occupying part of the operating theater. That baby's gonna be a goddess when I'm done with her. I'm sure she is. Let's talk about something else. And thanks. Sure thing. You don't mind if I keep cleaning while we talk, do you? 'Cause I'm gonna. Ambrose bursts into laughter at his own joke. The spindly robotic arms around you redouble their sweeping and wiping. Cheers, the lever. Talk to you later. What's up with the computer? This impressive home-built computer is running multiple large memory units and processors. Chilled air from its active cooling system washes across you to the whir fans. A thin fiber optic cable runs across the floor to Ambrose in his chair. On the wall behind the computer are miscellaneous decorations, notes, and photos. 2 items stand out: a large dry erase calendar and a corkboard plastered with printouts. Really? News clippings and BBS posts have been printed, carefully snipped, and pinned in place. Most are less than a year old. They're intermixed with grainy photographs of what looks like a devastated city. Chicago. Chicago? What happened to Chicago? Should I know what happened to Chicago? Was Chicago ground zero for some, particular disaster? Most of these games have figured in Seattle, right? Dragonfall was also, I think, based in Seattle. What happened to Chicago? I feel like I should know this. I feel like this is an important part of Shadowrun history, and I have no idea. The news articles describe an outbreak of it tells me. Oh, good. Describe an outbreak of a virulent... Oh, Berlin! That's right. Dragonfall was in Berlin. We had connections to people in Seattle, but it was still in Berlin. describes an outbreak of a virulent version of the Vitas plague in the city, the subsequent quarantine of a zone containing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people. The newest items are plain text bulletin board postings, printed out. The very fact that they're from so crude a site is strange. Very, very few Matrix sites are so plain. Ah, but as a Shadowrunner, I know things. These posts are from the Shadowland. The Shadowland, a dark Matrix site for Shadowrunners that operates out of the Denver Data Haven. It's the first and foremost of all underground and anonymous systems dedicated to Shadowrunning activity. Captain Chaos, Fastjack, and other global shadow-decking luminaries appear in these posts. Oh. It's 4chan for Shadowrunners, I guess. Files smuggled out from within the containment zone. They describe a cover-up, the detonation of a small nuclear weapon, and the catastrophic release of insect spirits into the city. Ooh, the worst kinds of spirits. The current conditions, as reported by drones and escapees, are horrific. Alright, the calendar? The dry erase calendar is cluttered with a relentless storm of commitments written in cramped, sloppy Hanzi. Most appear to be medical appointments with patients, followed by a busy list of social engagements. Closer scrutiny reveals others. A basic mechanics class on Wednesday nights. Basic computer coding Sunday afternoons. Before both of these, inked in red marker is prepare lesson plan, you stupid idiot. Nice. Holidays. Big combat auto races. Birthdays. Every Sunday until 4 p.m. is simply labeled engine. Only 5 hours a night are allocated to sleep, but large swaths of time are conspicuously labeled hangover. Nice. Alright. What's in the lobby? This electro furnace room has been built out as a medical clinic and a machine shop. The air is alive with the rumble of the furnaces and the hum of cooling fans. It is sweltering. The front area is more like a homey coffee house than a clinic lobby. Comfortable old furniture, used digipads, coloring books. The wall opposite the boilers is cluttered with a mixture of photos and prints, local artist work, images of military vehicles, off-road racing, Rube Goldberg machines, personal photos, old-time Chicago gangsters, the Desert Wars Motorized Combat Division. Wow. The work area looks more like a machine shop than a medical theater. A roboticized operating table and a hydraulic lift supporting a partly disassembled V8 engine occupy places of equal importance. Yeah, we know how important the V8 engine is. We have heard from the man himself against the north and south walls. Prosthetic limbs are racked overhead like machine parts. A heavy lift hoist is clamped to an I-beam. An impressive home-built computer sits against the far wall. We've looked at that one too already. Several bulkier towers sit under the desk, fans whirring. Looks more like a sysadmin Decker's server station than a doctor's terminal. The floors are scuffed concrete, stained with grease and old blood. The faint odors of ammonia, gasoline, and antiseptic mingle in the air. A large sign in the back wall reads, "Sanitary space, no spitting." Apparently you gotta call that out sometimes, alright. Personal photos. Pictures are mostly of Haoi residents, holidays, and parties. 10-armed Ambrose is in many of them. The vast scope of photos suggests that Ambrose must be acquainted with almost everyone in Haoi. Neat. Alright, I think that's about everything. Everybody that we've been able to talk to. So I guess the next step is... Wow, what is the next step? Oh, the next step is back home. Okay, yeah, look at the computer. Before I do that, though, we've been going for about 2 hours. So I am going to take my usual quick break here. I'm going to put this stuff on pause and give you folks some music while I'm gone. I am going to go to the bathroom, refill water, stretch my legs, etc. Feel free to take this opportunity to do the same for yourselves. As usual, if you're looking for something to do, feel free to check out my Twitter or Discord. And I'll be back in a bit. Alright, I have returned. Thank you as always for your patience. Very much appreciated. Let me pause the music and we'll bring the game back up. And continue doing whatever the hell it is we're doing out here. I'm a little surprised that I still haven't found anybody to sell me guns. Oh, maybe they'll let me into the club now. What do you think the odds are that Frederick Kaffai will let me into the club? Like most troll bouncers, this man is knotted with muscles, but absent are the myriad scars that come with age or indiscretion. His only blemishes are the bony skin growths common to his kind, and a single deep scar across his neck and collarbone. You watch yourself in here, or else we check your aerodynamics. That means you're gonna literally throw me out the doors. I mean, all of these questions have the same answer. Anyone causes trouble, I see how far I can throw them. No fighting, no killing, no sex trade. He lifts an arm, flexing. His muscles jump out. Flexing? Like, I get it, you're big. Alright, buddy. Yeah, you got muscles. I can see them. Definitely muscles. Capable of identifying muscles. His muscles jump out like a massive serpent's and steel cabling. His arm is easily as thick as most humans' waists. I don't mess around. What about your cat? Does your cat mess around? Why do you have a cat on your shoulders? Doesn't that make it slightly harder for you to throw people out the door? Maybe not. Maybe the cat's helpful. Callum Kaffai. Oh, there are a lot of Kaffais. Well, at least the DJ's having fun. Everybody else kind of standing around. But yeah, cool, whatever. Henry Kaffai. There is only one way to describe the troll haunting the back of Club 88. Oh, Club 88. These are the Club 88 people that Ambrose mentioned. I get it. Alright, weathered. It is as if the man has been carved from granite and then battered by the crash of waves and salty winds over the course of decades. Welcome to Club 88. No killing, no fighting, no sex trade. Rules are rules, yep. Those are some rules. The cat is the actual character and the orc is just a mindless puppet? Yeah, probably. That checks out. This is loud. Why is it loud? Maybe be like very slightly less loud. Settings? Do I get to have settings? Do I not get to have settings? Can't save game, probably because I'm in a dialogue? Why can't I have settings? Why would you do this to me? Alright, whatever. Rules are rules. In part, along with my better half, I'm Henry Kaffai, co-owner of the club. If you're looking for guns, speak to my wife. If you're looking for farmers, speak to my son Callum. If you're looking for trouble, you'll be seeing my son Frederick. Briefly. Oh, the patriarch of the Kaffai Empire. And what would I speak to you about? Nothing. I just steer the ship. What ship? There's always a ship. Alright, cool, whatever you say, buddy. Alright, Callum's got drugs. Better groomed than most of his kind, the young troll nonetheless ruins the effort with his own blatant drunkenness. His eyes are red, and his expression foggy, but he otherwise appears to be high-functioning. Have a drink, friend. Have two. And maybe something to chase it with, huh? Think you may have drunk it all. No, I'm on the job. You should have my job, then. I'm a prince of Club 88. Chosen, you might say. Part of the family that owns this place? You are a shrewd one, friend.
I am the heir apparent, and my birthright, to peddle chems to every sniffer that passes through our gates. What do you say? Need something to pick you up or bring you down?
I don't know. What do you got? Cram, Hyper, and Taco. Oh, Taco is new to this one. Body strength and willpower for 5 rounds with a strength boosty stuff. Neat. Accuracy increased, but damage is also increased. Plus 3 AP and plus 2 movement. Cram is the good stuff. But I'm not here to buy drugs. And apparently I'm supposed to talk to some other Kafai? Who's the other Kafai? Maybe through the door? Maybe through the other door? Ah, Ermin. I guess that's Callum's wife. Cool. The older troll woman has a striking Amazonian quality. When she was younger, she must have really turned heads. Can I help you? I'm usually beyond helping. You in charge here? And don't you forget it. This is my family's place. Me, my husband, and our 2 boys. Now, do you have business with me? I have no time for window shoppers. Well, too bad, because that's all you're getting. Firearms from all over the world. From Ares to Walter and everything in between. You in the market? Let's see what you got. Not that I have any ranged combat. Alright, there are still guns I can wield. Ah, grenades come from here as well. Okay. Alright, plenty of stuff I can afford, but nothing I actually want to wield. Cool. Good talk. What can you tell me about Haoi? There's only one thing you need to know. The corporations do not rule Haoi. We're under kindly Cheng's umbrella, and her yellow lotus soldiers protect the docks and maintain the peace. But we're not Triad members. They don't own us. Haoi is a crossroads where goods change hands and deals are made. Kindly makes the market, but we, the families, make it happen. Ermin speaks with the pride of a woman who bows politely to great powers, but never prostrates herself before them. Neat. I like her. Families rebuilt this place when it was left to rot. Strong families, like mine. And we protect our own. Outsiders and corps know that tangling with Haoi is more trouble than we're worth. The Triads know it is better to work with us than against us. And now you know these things as well. You would do well to remember them. Now, are you looking to buy? Nope, we're out. Alright. Heck of a place, the club. And now I know where to get guns. Good, figured it out. Alright, we have taken stock of our surroundings. I guess it's time to progress the plot. I suppose I will deign to move the story along. Mission computer. Hatch? What's down the hatch? Ractor. Oh, this is the guy downstairs that they, Ractor. It's oppressively hot down here, and the air is full of synthetic odors that grab you by the sinuses and refuse to let go. You can smell engine grease and melting plastic, ionized air, and lead solder. A quick scan of the room tells you why. The downstairs tenant has converted this space into a machine shop. Metal fabrication tools and Duraplast extruders line the walls, and a pair of heavy industrial manipulators hang from the ceiling. That'd be these? Cool. A man in a black trench coat stands with his back to you, staring at a monitor mounted above a sturdy workbench. He addresses you without turning. Ah, I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbor. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of a Russian accent in there, but it's buried under layers of nuance.
Please, stay where you are. I'll be with you in just a moment. And unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There are all manner of tools in here that could take your hand clean off.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
Don't mention it. I have no interest in seeing anyone hurt in my shop. Especially not my upstairs neighbor.
So, what you looking at, buddy? The feed on the monitor looks like some sort of design software. You can see what appears to be a slim, spidery appendage in orthographic and perspective views.
Very good. Yes. Coming along nicely. Very nicely indeed.
Oh, look at this dude's face. Absolutely a vampire. He turns towards you, smiling, and for the first time you can see his face. He has broadly handsome Slavic features and a chiseled jaw. His eyes are like flecks of ice.
So sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr.
The lever.
You were too kind. Now tell me, what can I do for...
His voice trails off as a flash of motion catches his eye. With alarming speed, a sinister-looking drone scuttles out from under the work table. Its movements are surprisingly agile and fluid. The machine rears back menacingly, spreading its forelegs in a clear sign of aggression. Get your dog under control! Face is definitely not modeled on Chekhov from Star Trek, is he? Oh. The man's smile tilts and his tone goes apologetic.
Please, don't mind the drone. He can be territorial. But so long as you remain civil, he will not bite.
He extends a hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral position, lowering its killing legs.
Raktor, my mechanical counterpart here, is called Koshe.
You'd argue it's there? I'll believe it.
I don't know.
Slap him 5. No. His hand is rough and abnormally warm to the touch. He shakes your hand with a solid grip.
I am very pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as Heioi, it's important to be on good terms with one's neighbors.
Agreed. Like to ask you some questions? He glances at the bracer on his forearm. A technical display winks to life, then gutters out.
Very well. This morning's casting should still be cooling for a few minutes yet. That's time enough to talk.
Are you Russian? Thought I caught a hint of an accent there. He nods.
You have a good ear. I'm impressed. Yes, I grew up in Nizhny Novgorod. I went to school there. Started my career there in the industrial sector. A fairly common story, I'm sure. But I have also traveled a great deal, and in so doing I have absorbed a number of other languages and dialects.
Ooh, cool. How many languages do you speak?
Counting Russian and Cantonese? 15.
He shrugs apologetically.
It shames me to admit that I'm only literate in 12, however.
Still impressive. Good job.
Perhaps when compared to the common man. But I've known a great many polyglots who can and do put me to shame.
He gives you another half shrug, and Koshe mirrors the gesture.
Arabic has been a particular bugbear of mine. The unfamiliar characters and lack of vowels make it damned tricky to get a handle on. But I suppose that all men have their limits.
What you doing, buddy? What was this morning's casting? What does that mean?
Exactly what I said. A casting that I made of a new locomotive assembly for Koshe.
He gestures at the display above the work table.
A biomimetic design, as you can see. This one is inspired by the walking legs of a decapod crustacean. The mangrove crab, to be specific.
fascinating.
Ah, you designing drone? This is so like touristy, and this is like an actual legitimate question.
Will this new leg assembly make your drone more effective?
That remains to be seen. But there is more to life than combat effectiveness, is there not? By fabricating new components for Koshei, I unlock options, different ways of being. Even the failures, and there have been many, have value in this context.
Why do I have so many different ways to say, why would you bother doing all this work? How did you learn to do all this?
More training and experience than I care to mention.
He offers you a wry smile.
Drone architecture was once my profession, you see. Now it's more of a calling. One that I'm free to pursue, now that I've freed myself from the shackles of corporate servitude.
Yeah, speaking of which, this is some really corporate-looking gear. He smiles.
The same could be said of many in Heioi, I'm sure. This is a smuggler's den, is it not? Our entire economy is based on people having things that they shouldn't. Is there a particular device that interests you, out of curiosity?
Yeah, I like arms. Tell me about those arms. Yeah, some cool-looking arms there. Look like they've been taken from an automotive assembly plant. His smile flashes brilliantly in the light.
Good guess. That's precisely what they are. They fell off a boat, you might say. They weren't cheap, but I acquired them and had them mounted to the walls of my shop. I simply had to have them. The return on investment has been dramatic. Yes, they are cruder by far than the Waldo devices that I used in my professional life, but they still do the job, and they are mine.
He gazes lovingly at the industrial arms, still smiling.
They have increased my fabrication capabilities nearly tenfold, and that, to me, is worth any price.
Boat, truck, what's the difference? I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Is, whatever they fell off of, it's all kind of the same. So tell me about Koshei.
Yes, I suppose that it is. Not many riggers would name their most prized possession after a villain from a fairy tale. A nod to my heritage, I suppose.
What's the fairy tale about?
A thoroughly unpleasant person. Koshei the Deathless he was called, and for good reason. His soul was cleverly hidden outside of his body, and he could not be killed so long as it remained intact.
Ah, everybody's got lich stories, huh?
Koshei was a villain, and a notorious kidnapper of women, but something about him always stuck with me. I suppose that it was the notion of immortality through cleverness that resonated. There was something to be learned from that, I was sure. And so, when it came time to name my beloved creation, his was the first name that came to mind.
And is your drone deathless, like its namesake?
In a manner of speaking, I suppose that he is. I have redundant copies of every piece of his architecture, and his core programming is stored on disk in his secret location. Should he ever suffer critical damage, I can easily bring him back. I had a plan once to automate the self-repair process. I must confess it was really quite ingenious, but alas, my research was lost. One day, I will reclaim it, and Koshei will become as deathless as the stories claim, but it will not be today.
Do I want to dig into his history like this? More interested in what he's doing now. How can you afford all this?
Freelance. At the risk of sounding immodest, I've commodified myself rather well. There are always corporations in need of design consultations. You would be surprised by how lucrative such work can be. And there is always other work that I can turn to in a pinch.
Well, I guess if I can still ask about his history. He sighs.
That is something of a sore subject. My departure was involuntary, you see. I did not part ways with my employer under the best of terms. I will tell you that I worked for Grishin Aviakor, but you'll forgive me if I don't want to go into detail.
Other work, in quotes? You're a Shadowrunner, right? He pauses, and for a second something flashes in his eye. Koschei lowers its body into a crouch.
A rather personal question, wouldn't you say?
Sorry, didn't mean to pry.
No, it's alright, after all. It was my throwaway comment that led you down this path. Cannot fault you for following it. Truth be told, I don't feel especially comfortable discussing my side work with relative strangers. Suffice it to say that my freelance activities often fall on the illicit end of the spectrum.
Tell you what, I'm just going to guess. You're a Shadowrunner, aren't you?
He gives you a shallow nod. I dislike the term, but yes, I run the shadows. What gave me away?
Don't build murder bots for fun. Hey. No call for insults, alright? I'm sure Koschei is a perfectly lovely robot of the non-murder persuasion. I just get that feeling.
He shrugs. Interesting. Well, your intuition is correct, as I said. Now I'm going to use mine. You're a Shadowrunner as well, but you're new to the profession. Am I correct?
Yes, on all counts. Very keen eye, Ractor. Koschei scuttles forward, its glowing red eyes low to the ground. Light glints off of the metal of its armored chassis. Ractor runs a hand over the drone's killing legs, caressing the sculpted metal with his fingertips. Why are his legs so often referred to as killing? They're just legs. We all got legs, my dude. I guess, except for Ambrose. Ambrose doesn't got legs.
I earn my living in the shadows. I suspect that everyone on this boat does. If we were suited for a more pedestrian line of work, we wouldn't be in Heioi. At the risk of sounding immodest, Koschei's aptitude for butchery is quite impressive. He earns me all that I need and more.
Pool our resources and work together. There's the spirit of community I like to see. He purses his lips, considering.
A compelling offer. I'm doing quite well on my own, but I must admit there are certain jobs for which I am unsuited. Magic eludes me, and I am not a decker. My strength comes from material objects in the real world, solid things with mass and heft, things that I can build and operate. Sadly, a great many clients are only interested in teams that display a mastery over the intangible.
Forget to take off the new guy tag. I mean, honestly, like, take a look at him. He does kind of scream new guy. New guy who's trying a little hard, maybe, but still new guy.
This group of yours, do you have people who can cover those bases? If so, then perhaps we can help each other out.
Yes, we have a shaman and a decker, both competent at their jobs. Aha, it's true. We do have both of those things.
In that case, I will accept your offer on a provisional basis. We'll do a few runs together and see how we get on. If our association bears fruit, it will continue. If not, I will bid you my farewell and go back to working alone. How does that sound?
Welcome aboard. Sounds good.
Very good. Excellent. When you receive a job, you know where to find me. My skills and resources are at your disposal. And with that, I am afraid that I must bid you good day. I still have work to do down here. This leg assembly won't clean itself.
Ah, well, I'll be in touch.
And I with you.
Whoa. Oh. Now Ractor's on the list. Rigor. He sure is. Predator. Increased accuracy. Koschei gains a 5% accuracy boost for all attacks. Or +1 movement speed. I think I like the accuracy. I guess he's mostly a melee drone, though. Maybe the movement speed matters more. Rotary saw. Need to know your level one day. I try to keep the Discord up to date, although I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at the point queue very recently. So I'll do my best to get it updated tonight, and then you can look at your Discord. Look at your Discord roll; it'll show your level. Hard to take off that sticker when it's lasered on your face. Are you poking fun at my face tattoo? It's a pretty dope tattoo. Yeah, move speed seems good if I gotta be in melee. Alright, well, he's already said goodbye, so goodbye. What about this door? I'm just hanging out in Ractor's bedroom now? How are people doing over here? This is my room. Should be pretty empty. Is, in fact, pretty empty. Where are the levels in Discord? If you look at your roles, you should have a role that's experienced, and you should also have a role that says what level you are. I think you can get it by clicking on your name on the right side. What's up, Duncan? Wu's cabin appears to be the only clean spot on the bolt hole. His equipment is neatly laid out on his bedding, grouped by type, arranged just so. He's currently in the process of cleaning his weapon with meticulous care. Ah, that's that, I guess. We're runners now. Yep. Think it's time to catch up? Could be. He stops for a moment, stares at the weapon in his hand. That's why I'm maintaining my equipment. Helps me focus my brain. Work through stuff. He sighs, lowers the rifle. Now's as good a time as any, I guess. Where do you want to start? I can't get that dream I had out of my head. You had one too, right? Yeah, yours sounded like a nasty one. I don't remember much about mine. I was pretty creeped out by our run into the walled city. Between that and all the drama, I'd be surprised if I didn't have a nightmare. Was the walled city in your dream? Of course the walled city was in my dream. It was a nightmare, wasn't it? He gives you a lopsided grin. Was it in your dream too? Sure looked like it. Not sure I'm surprised. The walled city's more than just another slum in a sprawl. Hell, it is a sprawl. Of course we dreamed about it. The feeling I had there stayed with me. Felt thick, heavy. Got this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, wretchedness, I guess. Did it feel any different from other nightmares you've had? He takes his time to think about his answer before he responds. You know how sometimes you'll be mad at a friend in a dream and then wake up still mad at him? Then you treat him like you did something wrong when you see him? Kinda feels like that to me. Like I dreamed I was swimming towards a bright light. When I woke up, I was out of breath from the effort. What do you remember about it? Just little snatches of things. The walled city was breathing. It had teeth everywhere. Oh, God, why? There was a tunnel that was so bright I had to shut my eyes. And Raymond was there. He was either kneeling or lying down. I can't remember which, but he was crying. That's what made me wake up. The sound of my father crying. Let's talk about something else. Alright. We'll talk about being Shadowrunners. What's there to say? I worked my ass off to pull myself out of the gutter and make something of my life. I did what it took to earn my bronze. And now I'm a mercenary hiding in the shadows of a foreign country, doing dirty jobs that the corps need to keep off the books. It's the reverse of everything I ever wanted. You seem to be taking to it pretty damn well, so let me ask you something. You said you thought that Raymond was alive too, that we'd run the shadows until we could figure out what happened to him. Was that true? I mean, yeah, why else am I here? Wu nods, clearly satisfied. Good that we're on the same page. I feel better knowing that. What is your opinion of dear Auntie Chang? I'd say she's got us right where she wants us, right under her thumb. Yeah, that checks out. What do you want to talk about specifically? I want to talk about that sweet mahjong parlor. You any good at mahjong, Duncan? Because I suck ass. Think we can trust her? A triad boss, an underground fixer? No, I don't think we can trust her. But as long as we all share the same goals, we should be okay. Yeah, alright. As long as we serve her interests, she doesn't have reason to screw us over. Exactly. Simple. Prefer koi koi yourself? I don't even know what koi koi is. She provides jobs, we do jobs. She gets info about Raymond and that plastic-faced man. We figure out what the hell is going on. When we figure out what's going on, she doesn't end up in the trunk of a car at the bottom of the river. Everybody wins. Koi koi is a Japanese card game. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard of it, I guess. What about this plastic-faced man? Creepy dudes are nothing new to me. Even well-dressed, creepy corporate dudes. Between the gangers we grew up with and the shit that I've run into as a cop, I've seen all kinds. I just want to know who he is and who he works for. Oh. Wait, how many different games are there that you can play with Hanafuda cards? Because I've just always referred to it as Hanafuda. Is Koi Koi like a separate game from the traditional Hanafuda rules? Not that I remember what those are at this point in my life. So what do you think... What do you think Kindly Chang wants from us? Oh, I didn't realize it was called Koi Koi. Okay, cool. As long as her network keeps delivering information about Raymond, I don't care. At least for now. We need to stay with her. We have no other connections in Hong Kong. Without her, we're dead in the water. True. Should keep an eye on Strangler Bao. We should keep an eye on everybody. That guy is definitely no exception. I've seen plenty of cold killers in the Barrens, and plenty more since I joined Lone Star. This guy's the real deal. I'm not sure if he knows what the word remorse even means. You should steer clear of him. I'll be careful. I can see that. Alright, let's talk about Raymond, I guess. Okay, shoot. What do you think's going on with him? I don't know, Jim. He was clearly obsessed with the Wall City and whatever prosperity is. He sounds like a sleepwalker trying to stumble his way through a dream or something. A sleepwalker who hires Shadowrunners. From Triad bosses. Raymond was smart. Smart as hell. I'm sure he had a reason for using Kindly Chang as a fixer. Why do you think he came to Hong Kong? Well, he's from here, right? Sounds like he had unfinished business that he needed to take care of before... You think he's dying? I don't know. Yeah, me neither. Something to think about. Did he say anything about me after I left? Ooh, digging deep now. Let's talk about history. You know Raymond, Jim. He taught us what he wanted to teach us. Told us what he wanted us to know. Everything else was met with a wall of good-natured silence. He used to say, "You are the master of the unspoken word, Mr. Wu. Once it is out of your mouth, it is out of your control." So no. After you left, he never said a word about you. Not a word. Wow. That kind of hurts, I'm not gonna lie. Gobbet and Izzy? They seem confident, considering how young they are. Then again, they sound like they've been taking care of themselves since they were pretty young. The three of us work together well in the walled city. Based on that, I'd bet the four of us would make a solid crew. Do you trust them? As far as I trust any runner, yeah. It's like Raymond used to say, trust and verify. They haven't given me a reason not to trust them, so until they do, I'll believe what they say and keep my eyes open. Later's good. I want to do some cardio, work off some steam, and it's rack time for me. You should do the same, Jim. A couple hundred push-ups would do you good. I don't think so. But hey, knock yourself out. Well, Loss. Talk to you later. Well, there was a bunch more stuff to talk about, though. Why did it end the conversation? How mean? Hey, Izzy. Isabel's cabin is an exercise in controlled chaos. Her living space is utterly dominated by an enormous jury-rigged computer. Serpentine cables snake from component to component, tying dozens of obsolete terminals and cyberdecks together into a single colossal machine. Yeah, there sure is a lot going on in here. This is my personal machine. If you're looking for your mission computer, it's downstairs. She doesn't bother looking up. You can see that she's elbow deep in the guts of an obsolete cyberdeck, one of a half dozen that have been wired into her computer with braided cables. Actually, I was hoping to talk to you. Got a second? There's a long pause, then she chirps out a response. We're talking now, aren't we? You want to crawl out of that computer and talk to me face to face? No, I'm not gonna be that callous here. Must be pretty absorbed by what you're doing, huh? Yeah, sorry. This is a delicate process and you're interrupting me in the middle of it. We can talk, but you're gonna have to be okay with me doing this at the same time. Should I come back? That's fine, I can multitask. I mean, if this bothers you, you could try coming back later. But I'll probably still be working. From behind, you see her shoulders lift into a shrug. Your choice. Alright, well, let's ask some questions. She leans in, scrutinizing the innards of the obsolete deck. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Have you been having weird dreams lately? Her body goes still. Yes, I think that everybody has. Me too. Horrible nightmares. I know. It happens more often than you'd think. She tilts her head in the direction of the walled city. This kind of mass psychosis was common where I grew up. Everybody got it. Been sharing bad dreams with others since you were a kid? She nods. In the walled city. Just one of the many amenities of life in that hellhole. But this, having it happen outside of the slum, this is new. I don't know what's causing it, and I don't think that I want to. I see. Any thoughts about the last run? I wasn't there, remember? So for me, it was pretty much like any other night. Spent the evening tooling around on the octopus. The octopus? Alright, I could see it. With all the different cables and stuff. That is quite a machine you're working on. She's my pet project. I call her the octopus. She waves a hand at the tangle of thick power cables that radiate out from the machine's central core. You might be able to guess why. You do all this yourself? Mm-hmm. She yanks a fried chip from the deck's motherboard and neatly sets it aside, then fumbles in a nearby bin for a replacement. I had to make do with whatever I could find as a kid. Taught me a lot about being self-sufficient. Yet another, why put in this work? That's just so rude, right? That's like, why would you bother doing it this way when it's easier to do it some other way? It's just like, such a disrespectful question. What do you make it out of? Whatever I could find. Busted terminals, obsolete cyberdecks, aftermarket memory from Maximum Law's dumpster. Scavengers would kill for this stuff in the walled city, but out here, people throw it away. She chuckles to herself as she eases a card into an empty expansion slot. Most deckers are early adopters. They buy whatever's newest, shell out huge amounts of nuyen in hopes of riding the bleeding edge. Stupid. Why? Because I can have 5 of last year's model for a quarter the price of that whiz new cyberdeck. And after I've finished daisy chaining them together, the machine that I've built will run circles around your hot new deck. Yeah, pretty good. Good. That's a good sign. Shows that you're thinking clearly. Frowning, she yanks a stick of memory from the old deck.
So, was there something else that you needed?
The ambush at Victoria Harbor. What about your portable gear? Oh yeah, that's a good question, actually.
It gets the job done. Might not be top of the line, but I'm comfortable using it in the field. If you should happen to come across any more advanced hardware or software, either on the job or on the discount rack at Law's Techno Palace, I'm not above taking donations. But barring that, I'm fine with using what I've got. Your call.
I see. Okay. Okay, so I could buy her equipment if I want, and then when we go out on a job, presumably I can slot it into place. Can we talk about the ambush?
I'd rather not. I lost friends there.
Yeah, they shot Carter down too.
Was she your friend? You didn't seem that close.
She turns her attention to the octopus, turning her back on you. Oh. You don't like talking about things that aren't your computer, do you? There's a long pause before she responds. When she does, she sounds vaguely hurt. She's kind of like Glory, isn't she? She's gonna take a while to open up.
I prefer not to. Nothing personal. Just the way that I am.
Nothing wrong with that. I just want to know who I'm running with. Don't you?
Yes, you're still a mystery to me.
There was a long pause.
I don't like mysteries, but I do enjoy solving them.
She turns, gives you her full attention.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you a question, something personal. After you've given me an answer, you get to ask me something. Think of it like a game of questions. We take turns until one of us wants to quit. Deal?
Sure. I like learning about people and or myself.
We'll start off easy. Tell me what you really think about Duncan.
I don't have any feelings about him. Wow. Come on. He's family. He's family. I guess whatever I say here is the truth, right? Whatever my character thinks about him. She cocks her head inquisitively.
I've heard how you abandoned him back in Seattle. If that's love, you've got a funny way of showing it. Well, you've answered my question. I guess that makes it your turn.
I guess first question is the important one, because the walled city stuff is important. She fidgets.
I'd rather not talk about it. Ask me about something else.
I need to know about the walled city, and you're a resident expert. Why won't you tell me about it?
Because I can't, okay? I just can't. Now ask me something else or we're done here.
Alright. Different question. How'd you and Gobbet meet? Her brow furrows, and after a moment, she screws her eyes shut.
We met as kids in the walled city. My prison was her playground.
Sorry if that was uncomfortable for you.
No, it isn't that. I'll be fine.
She shifts her gaze to the octopus.
I just have a hard time remembering those days. My childhood is kind of a blur.
Oh, is that why you couldn't answer the other question? You could have just said that. That is a valid answer.
And that would make it my turn.
She pauses, considering.
So tell me, what was your connection to Raymond Black?
He was like a father to me.
In that case, I'm sorry for your loss. Losing the ones that you love is hard.
I bet you know all about that, don't you?
Your turn. Ask me a question, I'll give you an answer.
Where'd you learn to deck?
The Whampoa. I lived there for a while after escaping the walled city. The people there were difficult. We didn't get along, but it was a great place to learn. And that brings us back to my turn.
She gestures at the cabin walls around you.
You enjoy it, don't you? Living like this? Working the shadows?
Do I? This feels a little cold. I want my old life back. What even is my old life? My old life is having spent several years in court prison and then... Question mark? What did I do after I got out of the court prison in between then and now? Do I actually know the answer to that? But alright, we can pretend I want my old life back.
I'm surprised. You're awfully good at killing for a man who wants to live an ordinary life. Your turn. Go ahead, ask me something.
Well, there's only the one question left, so we'll ask that.
That's a good question. I guess about 4 years now. A decent stretch by anyone's reckoning. My turn again.
Her head tilts as she studies your face.
And I think my last question for you. You're stuck here, marooned. You and Duncan both. He's obviously unhappy with the situation. He keeps going on about the things that he left behind. But what about you? Is there anything you want to get back to?
Yeah, I left something important behind. My entire life.
You've still got a life.
I have to be consistent between this question and the previous question, right? That is what is informing that choice.
Might not be the one that you want, but you've got it. Considering what's went down on the docks, that's saying something.
She glances down at the clock on her desk, an antique model with physical hands that looks like it was wrenched out of a submarine. A frown spreads across her face.
Shit, it's even later than I thought. And I've still got a long way to go before the octopus is fixed.
She begins to turn away, her attention fixed on the stack of partially disassembled cyberdecks arrayed in front of her. You still owe me another question. She stops in place, fidgets.
That's true. Go ahead.
I know that you don't want to talk about your childhood, but I need to learn more about the walled city. Her voice goes cold.
Why?
Probably this first one, although the dreams one is maybe a bigger deal. Her cheeks flush, just like they did the last time. She averts her eyes.
No, I'm sorry, but no. Later, maybe. But not now.
Alright, Isabel, maybe next time. Blinking, she turns away and buries herself in the octopus's splayed innards.
Please excuse me. I have work to do.
Well then. So, she's in kind of a weird place when it comes to the walled city, huh? Gobbet's nest is pretty much what you'd expect. Piles of clothes on the ground, an overflowing garbage bin surrounded by stacks of instant noodle packets and towers of tinned oysters. Avant-garde posters haphazardly thumbtacked to the walls. This is a thumbtacked to the walls. This is a cargo ship. Wasn't it? How are you going to thumbtack posters to metal walls? Maybe she's just that good. Overlapping in some places and peeling in others. Feels a lot like an art school dorm room. Gobbet reclines in a corner, cradling a bowl of soup in her hands. At her feet, a cast iron pot simmers away on an electric hot plate. The contents are typical Hong Kong comfort food. Chicken-style soya broth, elbow macaroni, tinned ham, and a heaping scoop of egg-flavored mycoprotein. As you wind your way through the piles of dirty laundry, Gobbet slowly lifts her head from her bowl to acknowledge you. Drywall interiors, you think? I don't know. This seems like it would be more of a utilitarian kind of place than something with that level of comfort supplied.
Hey, Seattle.
She chews on the words along with a mouthful of cheap pasta. A corner of her mouth curls up into a half smile.
How's Trix?
Do I care that she calls me Seattle? Not especially. I don't want to be too bitter about the entire life thing, so I guess we're doing option 3. They've been better, they've been worse.
That's the attitude. Very stoic, very strong. It's downright inspiring.
She skims an oily slab of faux ham off the top of her soup and pops it into her mouth.
Now, you want to tell me what you're doing in my bedroom? I'm assuming you're not here to admire the view.
Wow. I mean, I suppose that's probably a safe assumption. But, like, what if I was just here to admire the view? Although, if I guess I have the choice, I'd be going after Crafty rather than Gobbet. Gobbet's cute, but I like Crafty more. So what are we talking about here? Let's start with the nightmares. The nightmares are the important thing on my mind right now. Her jaw stops working mid-chew. Slowly she nods.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. We all have. Everyone in town.
Me too. And Isabel. We both just had the same nightmare.
Let me guess. You saw the walled city and a black whirlpool and teeth. Thousands and thousands of teeth.
She holds up a hand.
You don't need to answer. I already know that I'm right, because I just had the same dream. Creepy, I know.
Her voice goes quiet.
The dreams are coming from inside the walled city. I'm sure of it. All of the negative energy pent up in there. All of that pain and anger and poisonous chi, it's leaking out. And while we sleep, it's getting into us.
If you're so sure of that, why stay in Kowloon? Why not pick up and leave?
I was planning on it. But now with the APB in place, Auntie Cheng is the only thing standing between us and a bullet in the head. Believe me, I'd leave if I could. But I'm a lot more frightened of the HKPF than I am of a few bad dreams. At least the dreams can't hurt us, right?
Who says that they can't? She tries on a smile. Fails. Does her best to laugh it off.
Don't worry, Seattle. We're fine here. But, let's talk about something else, huh? I don't like thinking about the walled city very much. Too many old fears and bad feelings.
Well, instead of that, then let's talk about the walled city. Any thoughts about that last run?
Don't remind me. That place is every bit as foul and screwed up as I remember it.
Gobbet shudders, wrapping her arms tightly across her body.
You ever want to drag me back there, you'd better have a damn good reason for it. I have to say I'm impressed with how you handled the run. None of the Yellow Lotus soldiers died, and Kindly's not the kind of person to forget little details like that. Getting on her bad side is a great way to get a fast ride into an early grave, so it's good you stepped lightly on this one.
Yeah, that's good. I guess, Kindly being the kind of person to not forget seems like I can make that work in my favor, right? Like, get on her good side, try and stay on her good side. She'll remember what I've done for her.
So, what else did you want to chat about?
How'd you decide on the name Gobbet, anyway?
I didn't. My mom did.
She pops a noodle into her mouth and chews. As a fellow orc, it's a nice name. Your mom has a good taste. You aren't using a street name? Isn't that dangerous for a Shadowrunner?
Nah, not really. I'm sinless. There's no electronic record of a girl named Gobbet even existing. The only thing that could really threaten me would be, say, The HKPF attaching an APB to whatever file they do have on me? That would be terrifying.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's not me doing it.
Yeah, well, if you can't laugh about this, what can you laugh at?
Can you laugh at the ambush that killed 2 of your close friends?
Yeah.
She nods slowly, frowning.
Yeah, I figured you would. That was a hell of a thing, right?
You could say that.
It was fucking awful. Nightjar and Gutshot were 2 of the strongest men I've ever known. Quality Shadowrunners, both of them. I've watched those 2 fight through situations that'd kill anyone and come out on top. And how did they go out?
She mimes holding a rifle, makes a show of peeking down the scope.
Bang, bang, dead, dead. No blaze of glory, no final speech, just extinguished. Smashed like bugs.
We would have gone the same way if you hadn't gotten us out of there. Yeah, let's bring the focus back to Gobbet instead of the dead people. She absent-mindedly raises her bowl to her shoulder. A rat crawls over the slope of her back and lowers its head to lap at the broth.
It was more rat than me. She's the one who grabbed me by the gut and led us to that sewer entrance. All that I did was follow.
So, given that I'm a shaman, I should probably know a few things about totems, but I'm definitely not a rat shaman. So I guess tell me more about rat. She slurps thoughtfully at her soup.
A clever one. She's gotten me out of more trouble than I care to mention. Gotten me into a fair amount of it too. But I can always count on her to lead me out of hot water when I need her to. I can feel it in my belly, you know? Sort of a tugging sensation. I've long since learned to follow it.
I am a shaman myself. Never had my totem take an active role in leading me anywhere before.
Don't feel bad about it. Me and Rat, well, we have a sort of special bond. She takes care of me, and I've always done my best to take care of her.
Another pair of beady eyes blinks up at you from Gobbet's hip. A second rat scurries up her shoulder to join the first.
And to spoil and pamper her earthly children like these 2. Meet Madness and Folly.
Interesting choice of names.
I like the way they sound. Madness and Folly. Has a nice ring to it, right?
She brushes her fingers across the white rat's mottled coat. Not a cat, it turns out.
My girls remind me not to take myself too seriously. I wouldn't trust Folly, though. She bites.
How'd you come across them? She raises an eyebrow.
I looked outside. I mean, they're rats. Hong Kong isn't experiencing a rodent shortage or anything.
You just picked them up off the street?
Yep. Think of them as rescue vermin. You could probably do the same if you wanted to. It's easy. Just walk into any alleyway in Kowloon after sundown and stick your hand in the first dumpster or storm drain you come across. Keep fishing around until you touch fur.
Yeah, that sounds like a remarkably bad idea.
Yeah. In retrospect, it might have been.
She continues to brush Folly's coat. The creature chirps happily at her touch.
Odds are about 50-50 that you get your hand chewed off. I'd probably feel bad about that.
She does seem pretty comfy with all of this. She dips her chin.
A long time. Started when I was just a kid.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of action, huh? She rolls her shoulders.
Plenty. Been in more firefights than I can count. You're pretty new at this, you and Duncan both. It shows.
She takes a moment to study you. Slowly, her mouth fits into a smirk.
What you need is a wizened mentor. An experienced runner from whose experience you can benefit. I'm thinking that might as well be me.
Couldn't even order a drink without a fake ID. Just because she's not wizened, though, doesn't mean she's not experienced. Sure, why not?
You're in? Good. Starting the next time you visit, I'm going to teach you all about being a Shadowrunner.
She stifles a yawn.
You're going to benefit from my bountiful experience. Wait and see.
I'll be looking forward to it. Gobbet stretches, stifles another yawn. Her rats scurry from her shoulders down to her hips. She taps the simmering pot on the floor with her boot. The soup inside is reduced down into a thick, viscous gravy.
You know, Seattle, this has been a nice chat and all, but it's still getting late and I still have the rest of a hot pot to power through. So without wanting this to get awkward...
She glances toward the door. Alright, well then I'll see you around.
Yeah, you too.
And I guess that's that. Talk to everybody out here. I guess it's time to look at Plot Computer. Alright, Plot Computer, what you got for me? Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right corner notifies you have 6 unread messages. 6! Good heavens! That's a lot of messages. I think my inbox right now has like over 2,000 unread messages. I used to keep myself at inbox 0, and then I started getting Groupon mailing list stuff, and it just didn't feel worth it anymore. Alright, what are my new messages? Welcome to Heoi. From Kindly Cheng. On behalf of your friends at the Heoi Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Heoi and to our new business venture. I have already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Remember to check your messages often, as I will update you with new opportunities as they occur. I see. Alright, tell me about the computer. From Isabel. Oh, nice.
Hey, the lever. I've set up your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports.
I don't need to do this in her voice. I'm just going to read it, since it's an email. Information and media that might be of interest to you. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for are things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. I've also patched in a permanent link up to the Hong Kong shard of the Shadowlands BBS. It's a great place to connect with other runners, sell pay data, get news from the street, and so on. Don't be shy about taking a look. Resources? From Bao. Oh. I've been instructed to inform you of the various suppliers present in Heoi. Auntie Cheng has cultivated a commercial district of well-stocked and trustworthy vendors. Whoever you choose to do business with, you'll be in good hands. Ermin Kafai at Club 88 is an excellent resource for acquiring additional weapons. Yup. If you want magical supplies, go to Parlor of 5 Phases. And if you want training in the path of the adept, seek out Spider Shen. She. Okay. She can help you, as well as supply you with any close quarters weapons that you might desire. Chrome Alley can supply you with cybernetic enhancements and medical supplies. The proprietor, 10-Armed Ambrose, is a cyber surgeon of some repute. Ooh, repute? What a deal. Law's Techno Palace is a Wampoan-run supplier for the local decking community. The place is hard to miss, just look for a sign glowing in the sky. It's true, it is pretty obvious. And then if you need drones, Reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar is your best bet, and I pity you. Yeah, fair enough. Best of luck in the shadows. As fresh meat, you're likely to need it. Yeah, we did fine against you, didn't we? Don't you go talking down to me. Alright, and then these 3 are jobs that I could take. Cool. View all pending jobs? None, because I haven't read the things. Active jobs? BBS? Missed connections. You, rappelling down the side of an unnamed luxury hotel in a ball gown on Monday night. Me, admiring the view from the 28th floor urinals during a private soiree for an unnamed corporation that I was infiltrating. Our eyes met briefly before you dropped out of sight. Your long dark hair had come loose from your chignon, framing your beautiful flushed face. I will never forget it. You were carrying a duffel bag, bulging with stolen prototype weaponry. Well, I filched the intel that goes with it. Can we connect? Talk about your missed connection. Very funny, Blackjack. Sorry the job went sideways. I got trapped and I had only one way out. Oh, they're coworkers. That's even better. We were supposed to have each other's backs. Just wait till you hear the way out that I had to take. We gotta lay low for now. And why are we posting about this on a public message board? Good question. Been hearing some buzz about some mainlander terrorists that showed up in Victoria Harbor and had a shootout with the HKPF the other day. Anyone heard anything about that? Dongjang. Ming Pao said there were 4 of them that got away. 3 orcs and a dwarf. A troll, an elf, and a human were all killed on the scene. Word is that there's some kind of terrorist cell, and they're here to strike at the Executive Council. Well, we are now. Even if we weren't before. Since someone at the Executive Council has it out for us, I guess we're striking at the Executive Council. Looks like there's a 50,000 nuyen reward for any information leading to their capture. Damn. We don't need Duncan, right? I could just turn in Duncan and get the 50k. It's a little cold. The HKPF seems pretty nervous about letting these bastards walk freely around the streets. Think they'd actually pay out to somebody like us? Not a chance. You walk in there to claim the reward, you're getting thrown in a hole with them. The HKPF doesn't keep promises to the sinless. Couldn't hurt to try. Why'd you have to be such a downer? Because I know the police. They're all dirty. They're only in it to protect their paychecks. Don't give a damn about anybody else. Believe me, I'm just looking out for your best interests. Freedom Cowboy. Freedom Cowboy. What a name. Like you and your triad looked out for my brother? I know he's still paying for his reconstructive surgery, you bastard. Oh, suddenly this got personal. If a man wants to keep his teeth, he should pay what he owes rather than pull a gun on me. I mean, that's a fair point, actually. I don't think Freedom Cowboy is entirely in the wrong on this one. Just mostly. Walled City? This sounds like a big deal. I've got a courier job next week that's supposed to take me into the Walled City. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, and I've never been to Hong Kong. But I hear that place is dangerous as hell. Anything I should know? Everything. Well, you got nothing to worry about. It's just a low-cost housing development full of hard-working people. Here, take a look at this news report. This is Sunny Chung with Horizon News. On today's Sunny Side Up, the Kowloon Walled City. A blight on the free enterprise zone or low-cost housing for the economically disadvantaged. We'll introduce you to some of the hard-working residents, how they live, and how they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. A montage sequence begins, showcasing the destitute poor of the Walled City going about their daily lives. The shots have been carefully chosen, showing only smiling and productive residents. A stark contrast to your own experience inside it. Many residents of Hong Kong regard the Walled City as a place of no return. To outsiders, it's the last stop on a long road to homelessness. Rumors abound of feral ghouls, unsafe living conditions, and triad extortion. Yet when we went there, the reality was far different. What we saw will shock you. Citizens of Hong Kong, working and living just like the rest of us. Their apartments are smaller, their shops more modest. But the people who live here wouldn't be out of place anywhere in the Fez. Citizens like shoemaker Chow Sang Tsui. The scene cuts to an elderly man in a closet-sized stall filled with shoemaking equipment. He smiles broadly at the camera. This sounds not real. Oh, I love it here. We have a community, you know? We're like family.
Maybe we don't have as nice a view as they do in Repulse Bay, but I can't imagine living anywhere else. It's not paradise, no, but it's my home. I grew up here. How could I possibly leave?
The camera shifts back to Sunny Chung, who now stands in front of one of the entrances to the walled city. Contrary to popular opinion, the walled city serves a vital function. The poor and downtrodden find a home in the walled city, a community where they have a voice, can work, and even prosper. Far from being the eyesore that... The video suddenly stutters, freezes, and ends. Wow. Okay, I've decided to cut the rest of that crap. She keeps going on about what a good place the walled city is and how we all need it. Don't buy any of it. May not be hell, but you can see it from there. Freedom cowboys just trying to get you in trouble. How do you know the real story? Because I grew up there. You know what it's really like? It's eating old broth made from rat bones because there's nothing else. It's watching your neighbors sell their 5-year-old son to organ leggers so they don't starve to death. Ooh, that's pretty poor. When you die in the walled city, your neighbors cheer because they'll get the clothes off your back. I wouldn't wish the walled city on my worst enemy. No more posts in this thread. Okay. Huh. Alright, I really feel like I am about to fall asleep, which is a miserable feeling. And I also don't feel like downing yet another Frappuccino. But I also don't want this to be a trend of, like, cutting the Shadowrun streams short. Not sure why I'm so tired. Maybe Shadowrun is just an exhausting game. Alright, maybe I can keep it together long enough to go through the rest of the computer, and then we'll call it after that. Poetry Slam! Ladies and gentlemen, poets and Shadowrunners, welcome to the first annual Shadowland Poetry Slam. There are no rules, and there are also no prizes, except bragging rights. With no further ado, let the versification begin. Yeah, it is a lot of reading, and these games tend to be more exhausting than they would seem to be on the outside. Just because it's like a lot of talking and a lot of activity on my part that I don't necessarily do with most games. How long do you think we can keep this going before the trolls show up or a sysadmin shuts us down? There's sysadmins on the Shadowland BBS? Why? Why would they shut us down? It's a free board. We can be poetic if we want to. Tennyson. Cute. Just trust me. It happens. For some reason, these things always draw the worst sort of attention. I guess Jivebert has seen a poetry slam or two. Are you going to give us a poem, or are you going to stand around complaining about why you can't? Shouldn't you have led off with some, original composition, Matrix Bard? Alright, I've got one. Wait for it. Synth muscle, smart links, neural boosters, cyber limbs, all fall to grenades. I guess this is a haiku? A little musing on the transience of life in the shadows. Very nice, sir. When the long shadows fall on Hong Kong, neon lights pierce the coming night. Tread with me the velvet blackness. Let no lamp shine on our deeds. That one's entitled Our Hour. That might just have been the most pompous thing I've ever read. Try this on for size. Lasers are red, shadows are black. With mad on the street, you'd best watch your back. Now you're mad. I see we found our first troll. My poem wasn't... Heat's been making you tired a lot? I believe that. Tennyson immediately rises to the bait. How long have you been on the internet, Tennyson? My poem wasn't pompous, you uncultivated rube. It was a homage to Wang Wei, the famous Tang Dynasty master of the Juezhu form of poetry. It's traditional, unlike that ridiculous limerick that you posted. Excuse you. That was doggerel. It wasn't even a limerick. Thought you would know what a limerick is. Now, I don't think you have to take the word slam quite so literally. Ah ha ha. Hey, you people know the rules. Poetry slams have been out of bounds on this BBS since the Laughing Man debacle of 55. You want to sling your fancy words, do it on a different forum. I am shutting this thread down. Rest in peace, Poetry Slam. Told ya. Do I have pay data? I don't think I have pay data. Nothing in jobs until we go through the new messages. I mean, the other thing is, like, even if I stop stream, I'm not going to go to bed immediately. Like, I'll, you know, stand up, get a snack or something, and I'll feel fine. Start playing something a bit more active, and I'll feel fine. Or maybe just tired and willing to put up with it. Because that's pretty standard, too, for me. Alright, let's look at these 3 jobs. Serial killer. I've got a problem, the lever, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business with the Wampoans. If you're not familiar with them, I'll forgive you. You are an outsider, after all. I have not logged on to WoW in, like, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Wrath's coming soon. So we're in kind of that, not quite pre-patch lull. The Wampoans are a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who've taken up residence in the Wampoa Garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of Nguyen passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers here in Haoi. Okay. That's a little bit more history on the Wampoans. Taking their name from the region they're in, rather than granting their name to the region they're in. Hit a snag, though. The Wampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. That sounds like bad news. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do. So you're going to be my proxy, dear. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Wampoans have delegates here in Haoi by the name of Maximum Law. Yup, I do in fact know Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Wampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. She's got him dead to rights. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. What a phrase. You get your ass down to Wampoa Garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, so long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murders. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. Yeah, we'll do that. Good. I'll tell the elders you're coming. They don't like outsiders, and they might shoot at you if you don't want them. If you don't warn them, you'll be coming. Okay. So now if I go to the jobs directory, I have 1 pending job. No. If I go to the jobs directory, I have 1 active job. Which is just her email? Yeah, okay. I guess if I had not said yes, it would have been a pending job that I could have accepted at any point later on. Plausible. Artifact liberation. Welcome to the shadows, the lever. I've received a request from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Taipo. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. Mr. Drake! Wow, look at this dude. Email is replaced with the face of a stern-looking orc. Does he have a lazy eye, or is that just... I think that's just me. I think his eye just looks like that. Hello, Madam Cheng. I've heard that you're a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regards to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of help I'm looking for.
Recently, a rich investor by the name of Liu Hua decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Taipo. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties. He hit a snag with local government officials, however. They suspected the land his estate was built on may have pre-modern archaeological artifacts buried beneath it, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contacted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and ensure everything was properly recorded and catalogued. Sure enough, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Liu or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they're certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Liu called in his allies in Tan Tien Incorporated. Liu sold the entire site to Tan Tien, who then leased it back to him. Because Tan Tien is considered to have extraterritoriality in Hong Kong, local authorities were powerless to stop Liu from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. Can you believe that? The odds of there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil. But he doesn't care. Anything to sell a few tickets. Liu has continued his excavations using Tan Tien contractors to expand the dig. What he didn't know is that I bugged his comlink before he fired me. Based on what I've heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing, only to be found dead several days later. Whatever is down there is too dangerous to be left in Liu's hands. Liu must have found my data line tap, though. I stopped receiving any information 3 days ago. The last thing I heard him talking about were a pair of ancient texts that workers had discovered. Then he issued an order that further excavation should be halted until he can secure the subterranean areas. I'm betting those texts are the cause of whatever's killing the workers. I have quite a bit of experience with these kinds of dangerous excavations, but an operation of this scale is beyond me. I need a team that's tough enough to get in and survive, aren't afraid of making a mess, and who can get out with the books and whatever else they can carry. Beyond the 2 texts, I'm willing to pay very well for whatever other artifacts your team can liberate. The more valuable, the better. Don't worry, they'll be going to actual museums, not some rich playboy's mansion. I've got a second program in place that'll suppress Liu's security system. The team will have to be careful, though. There are only so many alarms I can suppress. Go beyond that number and I'll scrub the mission. I've included a catalogue of likely items to help the team appraise the most valuable ones. They don't need to be subtle. In fact, I'd prefer they make it look like a common robbery. Tell them to smash and grab what they can. Let me know when you find a suitable group of Shadowrunners. There you have it, a nice simple robbery. You think you can handle something that basic, dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. I'll contact Mr. Drake when you're on your way. Yeah, smash and grab feels pretty good. Can handle that one. Sounds good. Excellent. I've attached directions to Liu's estate to this message. Good luck. Don't fuck it up. Quality advice. Don't fuck it up. Alright. Geomantic sabotage. Geomancy is big business in the Free Enterprise Zone. Here in Hong Kong, Feng Shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortunes of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi. And sometimes that flow needs a helping hand. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale qi manipulation here in the FEZ. They've gone to great lengths to channel qi from all over Hong Kong into their headquarters, an enormous monstrosity that they call the Wuxing Sky Tower. There, it is focused and transformed into good fortune
through the building's geomantically attuned architecture and interior decoration. Our client believes that it is time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building, but you are to do so in two distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environment of that level. This will consist of minor adjustments of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are unlikely to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. That's why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration on the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed, set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified that he would like you to destroy the large Buddhist statue in the garden, smash the thing to bits, and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wuxing's geomancers busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions below will take effect. In addition, it'll send the kind of message our client would like Wuxing to hear. I have utmost faith in your ability to cause destruction. The more disruption you can cause on both levels of the Sky Tower, the happier the client will be. Given your own skills with magic, you should have an easy time identifying the most effective ways to disrupt the chi of the building. I'm not sure about it. But now it is a pending job, right? I don't know. I guess part of that is going to be dependent on... oh, we just have objectives. Cool. So no big story objective now. We're just doing some jobs. Okay. Great. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about, random wanton destruction. Like, I guess that depends on how I feel about Wuxing as a company. And I don't know how I feel about Wuxing as a company. Like, the other jobs seem fairly straightforward, right? Stop a murderer, like, I'm on board. Duncan's probably on board. Stopping a murderer seems like a good thing to do. And then there's, like, the... like, stealing the artifacts back from the spoiled rich kid, like, I'm on board. Even if that involves some wanton disruption, it's definitely at the expense of someone who deserves it. I don't know if Wuxing deserves it. They probably do. I mean, any corporation that big has got to have some skeletons in the closet, right? Maybe I'll just take it. We'll figure it out later. I just don't want it to involve too much killing of, like, random employees. Because, like, random employees don't deserve that stuff. If we can hurt the corporation's bottom line, great. But I don't want to take it out on individuals, because they don't deserve that. Maybe I'll leave it pending for a bit. We can think about it. In the meantime, I am going to call it, I think. Probably close to all talked out for this stream. Sorry for doing kind of a shorter stream, but, I definitely feel like I'm not necessarily doing the game justice if I keep going. Like, you know, I need to make sure that I'm, like, energetic and active enough to provide a good experience. And I don't think it's a good show if I'm just sitting here almost falling asleep. So, yeah, I'm gonna call it here. And we'll do some more of this on Tuesday. Save and quit. I hit save twice there. Manual save plus save and quit. Cool. Well, definitely a lot more Shadowrun to come. This game seems like it'll be here for a while. Given that Dragonfall was like 30-something hours, I would expect this game to probably be about the same, so, you know, another 4-ish weeks, maybe longer, depending on how much time I can sink into it. Yeah, we'll definitely be seeing some more Shadowrun on Tuesday, and some other stuff